Yo, what up, everybody? Is Frank up to anything? No. No new Frank mints, unfortunately.
Against dire warnings from leaders around the world, Iran and Israel strike at each other again. Iranian missiles penetrating Israeli defense systems, in one case hitting the port city of Haifa, injuring more than a dozen people according to local hospitals. Israel launched its own attacks on dozens of targets in Iran. All while diplomats scrambled to resuscitate talks on Iran's nuclear program, halted by war. In Europe, foreign ministers from France, Germany, and the UK and the EU met with Iran's foreign minister.
This is a perilous moment, and it is hugely important that we don't see regional escalation of this conflict.
No breakthrough in this latest round of mediation. Iran making it clear it will talk, but on one condition.
Once aggression is stopped and the aggressor is held accountable for the crimes committed.
The Security Council.
At a UN Security Council meeting requested by Iran, no consensus on who to hold accountable for the conflict, only a desperate call for dialogue.
The expansion of this conflict could ignite a fire that no one can control. We must not let that happen.
UN ambassadors from Israel and Iran vowed to keep fighting, all while accusing the other of causing instability in the region.
Iran has never initiated any war, while Israel, as an occupying and terrorist regime, has a long and dark history of illegal use of force.
How dare you?
Oh, that's rich coming from the Iranian ambassador.
Ask the international community to protect you from the consequences of your own genocidal agenda.
President Donald Trump said he'd give no more than 2 weeks for diplomacy to work and that the U.S. needs to be at the table.
Iran doesn't want to speak to Europe. They want to speak to us. Europe is not going to be able to help in this.
Trump.
Have you noticed that whenever you mock someone's accent, you always give them a French accent no matter what their accent is?
I don't know, it depends. Like, usually when I'm making fun of a British person, I do a British accent. The rest, yeah, it's weird Europeanish. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer. Yeah, don't spam in chat, please.
Trump also said he still believes Iran was weeks or months from developing a nuclear weapon, despite reports from U.S. intelligence saying otherwise.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong.
Trump, by the way, also said that his own intelligence director, Tulsi Gabbard, is wrong on the intelligence. She testified before Congress just last March that Iran wasn't developing a nuclear weapon.
Tulsi Gabbard's a literal fucktard. I love how even Trump is telling that dumbass, yeah, you're wrong, shut up. Alan Lichtman.
Democratic nation in Iraq. So there should be bright red warning signals and loud blaring alarms as a result of any attempted military action in the most unpredictable, most unstable region of the world, the Middle East. And let me tell you, Donald Trump is now blustering. You know, Iran never should have a nuclear weapon. We have to attack them to prevent it. But what was the...
Dodo donators, all your favorite morons are having a field day.
This is a statement
statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc.
Give Iran nukes. What are you thinking? Here we go.
Smart and was going to make a deal with Iran, but no, instead he just...
What do you mean he was going to make a deal with Iran? Iran was refusing to make a fucking deal. Like,
bombed Iran, putting the U.S. directly involved in a war.
Like, if somebody's selling a car for like 20 grand and I offer them 5 grand, like, and then the guy's like, no, 20. Like, lowest I could go is maybe 18. And I'm like, no, 5 grand for the car. Like, if somebody's not willing to agree to something, then, like, it's not going to happen. Like, you can't just tell me, no, just keep talking him down to 5 grand. Like, it's just never going to happen.
War with Iran on behalf of Israel. No congressional approval, and you know the Constitution says that it is only Congress that can get the U.S. involved in war.
So, none of that is an act of war or a declaration of war. The U.S. already fucking killed some Iranian officials back in Trump's previous term. Okay, so, like, any time, like, a bomb is shot or anything, it's an act of war. We need all of Congress to vote on every fucking missile that's launched.
No Security Council resolution, which means it is totally illegal according to international law. We have seen where this...
Oh my god, illegal according to international law. Oh, okay, well, why don't you tell Iran that when they're developing nuclear weapons? Oh, right, you're in favor of Iran having nuclear weapons. We can make the exception there.
We saw it in the case of Iraq. We saw it in the case of Afghanistan. We saw it in the...
Why are people mentioning Afghanistan when the Afghan war was to go after Osama bin Laden? So now they're saying the U.S. should have never gone after Osama bin Laden or Al-Qaeda and have these swarms of terrorists keep killing U.S. citizens?
The case of Libya. Nothing good comes out of U.S. intervention in other countries' internal affairs. It is...
That is the most, like, insane, retarded, monumentally stupid fucking shit you could possibly fucking say. Yeah. Let's have the spread of radical Islamic jihadists. Or, better yet, how about mass murdering communists? Let's let all these other nations, like radical Islamic states and communists, take over all these other fucking countries and either, like, literally consume them into their own country, or create all these fucking puppet states that are all fascist and all want to kill us, and completely and utterly destroy, like, international trade, commerce, global stability. Yeah, the US makes everything worse. If only Hitler had won World War II, the US should have stayed out of it. Fucking idiot.
Morally, legally, and totally against our interest, and totally against international law, and totally against the interests of the Iranian people who are terrified. And this is going to be very bad for Israel.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Yeah. Taking out a radical Islamic regime that lives close to them, that's developing a nuke. Yeah, it's really not going to work out in the long run.
In the long run. And let's not forget, Iran does not have nuclear weapons. Israel has nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that was the whole point. To prevent them from getting nuclear weapons. I don't know why the hell you're, like... Dude, it's just insane.
Has perhaps up to 400 nuclear weapons. Israel is the one that attacked Iran unprovoked.
all Iran did was set up proxy forces around Israel to kill Israeli citizens. They were behind the October 7th attack. They fund Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. And they were going to develop nuclear weapons that would have likely been used to commit a genocide against the Jews once again. It was totally unprovoked. I don't see why Israel would have any problem with what Iran was doing.
Iran does not threaten the United States. Iran has never threatened the...
Yes, Iran doesn't threaten the United States. That's why literally the government gets people and crowds to chant death to America. Right. Hey, Chris, what's up?
The United States. It's the United States that has interfered directly in Iran's internal affairs for decades, including in 1953 when we overthrew their democratically elected government. We have to...
Does she ever, consider that maybe that might have been a good thing to do? Oh, how could you kill Hitler? He was democratically elected. What are you doing? That's insane. Hitler was democratically elected. Fucking idiot. Donald Trump is going down in history as the most influential president. According to Laura, we have been saved from a nuclear holocaust. I mean, Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. Aren't these the same people who are saying not to go to war with Russia because of nukes? And then they're like, yeah, let Iran have a nuke? Hodge twins are fucking stupid, dude. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
What's his ments? I always hear you say that.
It just means funny, entertaining stuff. I don't know why I have to explain it every stream. Thanks for the donation, though, Speed Racer. Dodo donate tells us there will be a mega civil war for a little while until it's clear there's not going to be a war with Iran. Then they will consolidate behind Trump again. They're worried about troops being deployed. Also hate seeing leftists being so scared of bombing Iran nuke site. It's a complete joke, dude. All these people are just cowards. And fascists. I mean, you have the fucking left literally just supporting communism at this point. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. Dodo donate $2. It seems Iranians are not revolting against their government, and many of them are not siding with Israel on this. Logically, you would think they would, but there seems to be a rally around the flag effect occurring that may be a problem with doing regime change. Well, who knows? The internet in Iran's completely cut off, and yeah, who knows if a lot of these rallies are also just, a minority of wackos. But thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Does this nigger not understand they are committing a mass holocaust and crimes against humanity by what they are doing?
I feel like I don't talk about some of these things. Obviously, I talk about the farm, but there's a lot of things with the farm that I don't always talk about. Mostly because I've mentioned to you guys, that time, it was the Animal Liberation Front came and was threatening my family, and then the FBI had to come watch our house for
She's acting like that's unreasonable. So you kill animals and you're surprised somebody has a problem with that? If you had a dog farm where you killed and ate dogs, would you feel surprised if people came to your door threatening to kill you?
a week or two because the Animal Liberation Front people were like, we're gonna bomb you! Mods, we're literally gonna bomb you! So then the FBI was like, hey, you're not allowed to do that. I think it's because my name is LeanBeefPatty. A lot of vegans, dude, be hitting my line and they're like, you're committing war crimes against animals. And I'm like, I think your head would actually explode if you knew the truth. I'm just kidding. No, actually bad things, but...
What a horrible, horrible bitch. I might save that for later and make a video on that. Thanks for the donation, though, Anti-Dodo. Or Dodo, or who the fuck donated that? Yeah, I think it was Anti-Dodo. Dodo donated $2. Meet the Russian spy that Elon Musk accidentally helped reveal Sergei Gorchev, working in the White House with Trump as director of personnel using the name Sergio Gore. Not very inventive. Sergio claims to be from Malta, but has not had a background check, almost no career history. Started working for major RNC candidates. We learned about him after Musk started complaining about him publicly. Apparently Musk wasn't getting to influence hiring in the way he wanted because it all ran through Sergio, and they frequently fought, which led to Sergio escalating complaints about Musk to Trump. When reporters did digging on him, they found Malta has no record of the man despite him claiming to be born there. The White House claims he is following all security regulations but has not had a background check. Sergio Gore's personal Gmail once used a unique long-string numerical password. The same password and data leaks was seen on multiple Russian emails from Sergei Goryachev. Sergei Goryachev shows up in Russian databases as Sergei Anatolievich Gore something, having a state tax ID that lists the date of birth. 20th November 1980, claims to be born 30th 1986. I think he looks a bit weather for claiming to be 38. He also failed to produce any school records despite the fact that his supposed alma mater, George Washington University, has a diploma certification service allowing you to prove authenticity. Under oath, he refused to comment on whether he was born, simply saying he was not from Russia, which of course doesn't rule out So there's literally a director of personnel in the White House that's a Russian spy? Yeah, if all that's true, wait, is that? Basically, Musk wanted to install his own cronies throughout the government, but some unknown, unvetted Russian guy controlling personal matters kept getting in the way. Totally normal stuff, not worthy of media coverage. Whoa. And Musk is even... Yeah, dude. I wonder if this is going to lead to Trump getting exposed, because, like, this is... like, his relationship with Zelensky and everything, and Putin. The only rational way of explaining it is he's a spy. Gerudo. I think the Gerudos are a little prettier. There are an estimated 200 bodies of deceased climbers still on Mount Everest. Bodies remain, yeah, I know that. I can't show that on stream, though.
Russians and Ukrainians, one people. In that sense, all Ukraine is ours.
In what seemed like an attempt to pressure Ukraine into accepting his peace terms, he warned that Russia's army could take more territory.
We have an old rule in Russia. Where the foot of a Russian soldier steps, that is ours.
Well, it's not like Trump's going to do much about that. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Israel lost the conflict because they couldn't defend themselves long enough, which is why the US is there now. There is no evidence of a nuclear bomb. This is the Iraq war all over again. Netanyahu has been saying this for 30 years longer for Holocaust.
So congratulations, you're a dumb fuck who listens to communist propaganda, Twitter, and TikTok nonsense. Nobody claimed Iran had a nuclear bomb. The claim was, which there is definitive proof, was they were enriching uranium to make a nuclear bomb, and they were very far along in that process. It was confirmed they had enriched uranium to 60%. You need 90% purity for a nuclear bomb. They enriched it to 60, and each time you pass uranium through a centrifuge, you enrich it more and more and more. Like, the enrichment process becomes more efficient and faster. So they were literally right on the cusp of being able to make a nuclear bomb, and there's also absolutely no practical useful utility to enriching uranium beyond 5% unless you want to make a nuclear bomb. You only enrich uranium up to, like, it's usually 3.7% if you want to use nuclear energy. So they were clearly making a fucking bomb. There's no doubt about that. That's the claim. That's why Israel intervened, because they were literally right on the cusp of making one. And you're listening to stupid, brain-dead, like, just horse shit on Twitter and TikTok because you can't think for yourself and you're a fucking moron and you don't understand what proper information channels to go through to actually determine if something's right or wrong. You just listen to idiots like Hassan or Kyle Kalinske or any of these other communist, fascist, retard fucks, and then Israel bad. So go fuck yourself, dipshit. Dodo donated $2. China now publishes more high-impact papers, those in the most highly cited 1% than either America or Europe, in fields like chemistry, engineering, material science. Country is now considered a world leader. I don't know how real that is. Like, China's has so much fraud, that probably doesn't mean anything. Dinner date risks for women versus men. Women's risk getting beaten up, being harassed, getting drugged, raped, getting stalked afterwards. Men's risk she'll eat a salad on his tab and won't sleep with him. Men literally get robbed and drugged and shit on their dates too, so... 23% correctly identified Iran. Trump Gaza, Trump Iran. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Grey Knight donated $2. Trump's press release on Iran live.
Our objective was the destruction of Iran.
All right, I'll take a look at that in a minute. Thanks for the donation, Grey Knight. Dodo donated $2. Yep. Dude, Twitter is just... Maybe Twitter should be banned. Independent women who don't need no man. Yeah, that sounds about right. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Another happy customer who the fuck orders this shit. Yuck, vomiting face emoji. LLLLLLLLLLLLLLLL.
I've already seen that video. Yeah, the guy's a retard. Thanks for the donation, Mr. Gay Fano.
Another happy customer who the fuck ordered.
Okay, you already sent me that, but thanks for the donation, dude.
Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those
Guaranteed they're hunting down the Ayatollah and killing him.
magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody. And
do you receive donos from Israel? Don't lie to us.
Hopefully. Want some of that Jew money. Thanks for the donation, dumbass.
In particular, God, I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Get fucked, Iran.
This is a Fox News alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran. Interesting that 3 sites have been struck by U.S. bombers. And this, again, we'll get more information about the exact targets and what bombs were used. We expect that the GBU-57, the bunker buster, the massive penetrator bomb, may have been one of those used. Fordo is a nuclear facility inside Iran that is roughly a half-mile deep underneath a rock mountain-like facility that has been said to be the site site of a lot of the enrichment capability. Sv3rige, believed to be a storage facility for enriched uranium, and Natanz, another part of the nuclear facilities. They have several throughout Iran.
Congratulations, you're banned. Dodo donate $2. Let me see. I don't know why all these dumb fucks come into my chat and then start saying like the most insane, stupid fucking political takes imaginable that are fucking anti-Semitic and pro-fascism and pro-jihad. No shit, I'm gonna ban you, you fucking dumb fuck. Multiple sources. There are discussions ongoing with the United States and Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi for the day after the Islamic regime falls. Well, I mean, that would make sense to, yeah, like... turn over Iran's ownership or leadership to a more friendly Saudi state or something.
To protect Israel. I'm a lawmaker and an Israeli spy. But ain't your loyalty to America first, though, right?
Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at Pakistan.
Feel this way, especially.
Oh, yeah.
They've convinced themselves that Russia's their greatest enemy. It's bizarre. But, you know, if I were Putin, I would offer free first-class trips to Moscow so they could see that, like, Moscow was so much nicer than any place in Great Britain. It's, like, not even close. There's no part of Great Britain that's as nice as Moscow. It's, like... probably be an upgrade for them. I mean, their leadership is so bad. Their country's so degraded.
This guy just has no fucking clue, dude.
I think.
Well, actually, he does. He just lies.
A lot of them. I think the Brits are starting. I will say, I think they're starting to.
Okay, Tucker's an idiot.
Have you noticed that like a huge percentage of war-crazed Republican senators are secretly gay? What is that?
Are they?
Yeah. Like, what is that?
Which are the ones that are secretly gay?
I don't know. That the ones who are secret about it. I don't really know if you want people with like truly unsettled, dark personal lives with power. Do you?
No.
Okay, well... even Matt Walsh was sort of questioning why he did that. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Here's some Jew money. Thanks for all that you do. You're one of the greatest voices on the internet.
Well, thank you, Animal Liberation. Appreciate that. Thanks for the donation, dude.
I quit the liquor store job because the drama and schedule got in the way of my goal to sleep well. I loved that job, but I love sleep more.
Oh, that's Gus. Yeah, that's... well, you gotta do what you gotta do, SV. Just gotta make the right decisions for yourself. Thanks for the donation, though, dude. Dodo donate $2. Can you go back to forcing commenters to debate you on Discord, and if they don't, then Ban them. It's more entertaining if we get a debate out of it, please. None of them ever debate, and I just end up banning them anyway. You know, like, if Trump only deported those people, I'd give him a pass for illegal deportations.
This isn't gonna end well. Oh my god, please help. I just got attacked in the forest.
Oh dear, okay, let's see what we got here. What was you wearing, miss? Because that dress looks like it can call negative attention, you know what I mean?
What?
Why was you alone in the forest in the first place? It's like you wanted to get attacked.
Excuse
Did
me?
you make him think you wanted to get attacked by him?
Jeez, what are you even talking about? I got attacked in the forest by a bear.
Oh, by a bear. I thought you were talking about a man. Girl, why'd you say anything? There's a different line of questioning for that. Okay, so number one. Oh, we believe you. And what can we do to help?
Yeah, women will say that, and then women will also lie. So that's the problem. Women lie. It is what it is. Like, I don't know how you can fucking complain about not being taken seriously and, like, people being skeptical of your claims. But then you have to acknowledge, like, the only fucking gender or sex that ever lies about sexual assaults, it's women. So, thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Dodo donated $2. Reza Pahlavi wants to help transition Iran to a secular democracy. He does not want to be king also. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty tasty. I dig that. Seems about right for a mukbang YouTuber. These people are just disgusting. Really, they're just gross. I don't know how anybody can watch that shit.
It has been long described as a very difficult and tedious effort to go after these nuclear sites, but the U.S. for the first time launching an attack inside Iran. Again, the President of the United States saying all of the planes are out of Iranian airspace. The bombings do continue by the Israelis inside Iran as this back and forth volley between Israel and Iran has continued for some 2 weeks. We expect to hear more about this operation, not only from the Pentagon, but perhaps from the White House.
The root of all this. Why are we here now, Sam?
The ending of the Iran deal.
Exactly. If you followed our show, we went through the Iran nuclear accords that started in 2016 under President Obama in detail. And they showed that Iran would not even be able to begin to approach the threshold of a nuclear weapon, which is where they are now. According to American intelligence, they're not actually building a weapon.
What is he fucking talking about? It was confirmed they had 60% enrichment of uranium.
They're at the threshold. Trump, of course, discards that with no evidence, just as he discarded the findings of his...
Whoa, okay, I didn't know this guy was a delusional Looney Tunes fucking moron, too. Holy shit. So he's literally just ignoring the UN report as well, like literally definitively saying Iran's been lying about their entire nuclear program and they have 60% enrichment of uranium?
His own intelligence community that Russia meddled on his behalf in 2016. He never deals in facts. He only deals in things that serve him. 2031. That's how long that deal was lasting, and only then would it even begin.
Did you see Hassan reacting to your thumbnail about LeanBeefPatty? Oh my... No, I didn't. Where the fuck is that video?
Multi-year-long process to get to the threshold of being able to develop a nuclear or atomic weapon. And he didn't pull out because it wasn't working. No, his own, again, administration twice in 2017, shortly before he withdrew, said the accords were working. Iran was complying with the restrictions. The international inspectors agreed. Trump had no reason to pull out of that deal, except he wanted to obliterate anything that had Obama's name on it. And what did he promise when he pulled out of the deal, Sam?
He'd get us a better one.
Yeah, and now what? 7 years later? Where's the better deal?
And let's say, you know, he is as...
To be fair, this is the better deal. Destroying the Iranian regime. So, like, I mean, yeah, you can complain about him ripping up the nuclear deal, but I don't know, it worked out in the end. Like, let me see, Dodo. Go back. It's AI, VG, turn audio on. It's realistic and everything. What do you expect from a black mukbang YouTuber?
Be worth it. Nah, this hit no different.
Weird. Is this real?
This salmon nigiri is so fresh.
No, that's fake.
This is unbelievable, lad. I'm here standing among real crocodiles, and they're completely calm. This is unbelievable.
Pretty sure that's also AI. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. $2 Mexican donated $2.
You stole my baby mama for free calls. It's time to take down Pub.
Alpha 50 Cent going crazy on Instagram. Recruit a group of celebrities who love to party.
It's freak off time.
Bad boy, baby. Astroglide. Honey pack.
Rhino pills.
Magic mushrooms.
MDMA.
Baby oil. Let me see that mangina.
You reached the climax.
I'm tired of the paparazzi. I'm standing off business. And I'll f you for rent money.
Let's party.
Freak off Rangers. You mighty morphin' freaky Ranger.
That's pretty good. Too autistic for normies, too normie for autists. That's how I feel. That's good. Alright, well, that's not interesting.
Struggle, one fight. Palestine trans rights. One struggle, one fight. Palestine trans rights. One struggle, one fight.
Fucking idiots.
Today is Israel's advocate Natasha Hausdorff and Comrade Dave Smith to discuss Israel's ongoing war with Hamas in what I hope to be a lively debate that I intend to moderate with complete impartiality and fairness. Comrade Dave Smith, welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I mean, it's great to see that the Qataris have had a positive influence on you and that you've come over, in actuality, to the right side of history.
Hang on. I just want to clarify something. I'm not coming over to any side. And of course, nothing or no one can influence me to do anything. I'm a man.
Right, I apologize. I just meant that it's great to see your evolution.
It's kind of annoying, not very funny. Thanks for the donation, though, dude. Kenny donated $2, started watching Death Note like you recommended, thought that shit was pretty gay like most anime. Anyway, I ended up binge watching like fucking 15 episodes until 6 a.m. Lol, it's so good since I like that. What should I watch next and which to avoid? I wouldn't watch any like ridiculously long series that have a ton of filler, so I'd avoid things like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto for the time being. Like maybe once you become a full weeb, get into those. Prison School is really good. It's a comedy anime. You'd probably really dig that. I'd highly recommend that one if you want to watch something that's funny. One Punch Man is absolutely fantastic, and Chainsaw Man are also really good. Thanks for the donation, though, Kenny. Oh, and if you like Death Note, you might also like Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass is really good. It's very similar to Death Note in like the story beats and everything. And Parasite the Maxim, you probably want to watch that too. If you want something similar to Death Note, anyway. But if you just want to watch some funny stuff, that's... Chainsaw Man's funny, but it's also a little more, like, violent and heavy. But yeah, One Punch Man, Prison School, which you should... I would say you probably should watch Prison School next. Yeah, Chainsaw Man. There's another that I just had in mind, but I forgot. Thanks for the donation, though, Kenny.
I'm high and have vegan snacks in a theater waiting through the previews before 28 Years Later starts. Have you seen it yet, or are you jealous?
Haven't seen it yet. People have been telling me it's not very good, and I am also high. More mildly high, but I'm also high. Thanks for the donation, Boopity Bop. SV donate... Oh, wait.
Hi Richard. Can you give me an update on Frank Tufano's Law? I kinda checked out his channel, and the dude looks more fucked than ever.
Yeah, so basically he got a botched cosmetic surgery, which fucked up his eyesight and made him look retarded. He's also in a lawsuit with Paul Saladino for $2.8 million. He accused Paul of being a pedophile and shit. Paul sued him. Frank already actually lost the case. There's just an upcoming court case on damages. So Frank may have to pay as much as $2.8 million back to Paul in reciprocity. And it also appears that he's a drug addict. Looks like he's addicted to alcohol, pain meds, and kratom. And you'll notice in a lot of his videos, he doesn't go outside his house. So he's sitting at home, addicted to drugs, not going to work all day, and he may end up losing $2.8 million in a lawsuit. So things aren't going so great for him. Thanks for the donation, though, sweet dreams. SV Donatillers, the Avengers versus Star Wars 254.
Try doing it again. Try doing
What in the dog side is this? Impossible!
No, I'm Iron Man.
That was so easy, I almost feel bad.
Check this out. That lightsaber is compensating for something, right? Oh, come on. Come on, wake up. Hurry.
Not even a scratch. Just a couple bullet holes.
Hassan Piker mentions you on June 13th, 2024, 61940 on YouTube. Oh, so that was last year that he did that? LeanBeefPatty is a terrible fucking person. Like, sick, horrendously awful individual.
No!
Alright, well that's some good shit. Every time America's on the verge of greatness, we get involved in another foreign war. There would not be bombs falling on the people of Israel if Netanyahu had not dropped bombs on the people of Iran first. Oh my god. Israel is a nuclear-armed nation. This is not our fight. Peace is the answer. Oh my god. I'm just one word. Should USA get involved in Iran war? No. Grok answered no. I have no idea. She divorced him. Man sends wife a spreadsheet of all the time she denied him sex. Yeah, the divorce came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Look, I mean, they're still at like a fifth of American national income per capita. Why isn't China more successful?
People will often say, well, there's all this waste and there's too much state-owned enterprises, and they could grow much faster if they were just more efficient. And it's like, really? Could they? They're already growing faster than anyone has grown before. Is it really the case that they could have grown a lot faster than they have? And maybe, but I doubt it. And the reason is, I think there's what I would call kind of an efficiency fallacy. All global macroeconomists have been trained in the United States since the end of World War II. And so they view the US in its developed state as the norm, rather than as the result of other processes. So it's like the way we operate now is the way we got here. And actually, that's not quite the case, right? The reason China was able to grow so fast for so long was that they were able to mobilize these huge swaths of resources, domestic savings, and throw them in a kind of uncoordinated way at a lot of problems. And there was a lot of waste along the way. That was part of the equation. So if they had tried to be maximally efficient and said, no, we're not going to allow banks to lend unless they can prove that this project is definitely going to have an ROI of X, they would have lended a lot less, and they would probably have had a lot less growth. And they might, in fact, have had substantially more inequality than they did, because this wasteful method allowed them to spread out investment in a lot of areas which were geographically disadvantaged.
That's an interesting take. I never thought about something like that. That's gross. I don't want to see that. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Vegan Irishman, Donatello's official trailer for the Toxic Avenger.
Armed political extremists have taken hostages downtown. Somebody do something!
Wait! Stop! We'll get to all of that. Just relax, okay?
We'd lost Shelley a year ago. These days, it's just me and the kid.
Some anime are better in English dub. Prison School is really good in the English dub. But One Punch Man is terrible with the English dub. So is a bunch. One Punch Man was horrible. Oh yeah, Mob Psycho 100. That was horrible in the English dub. So I'd recommend watching Death Note in the English dub. The English dub was really good. Prison School English dub is really good. But if you're going to watch One Punch Man or Mob Psycho 100, watch the English sub with the Japanese speech. Chainsaw Man is good in the English dub, though. You can watch Chainsaw Man English dub.
It looks great.
I'll just scrape off the black part. That part's pretty good.
No, give him back.
I don't want to hurt him.
Why
Why didn't you do anything?
Sometimes it's better to do nothing.
It's going good.
You're saying that this corporation would knowingly poison its own customers just to boost their own profit margins? Summon the nuts.
Okay, summoning the nuts.
I didn't want any of this. I'm a monster.
You're not a monster. Show him your good heart.
Hey, buddy, I'm your dad.
What the?
I wasn't even involved. But sometimes you gotta do something.
Who the fuck are you?
Just some dude with a mouth.
I'm spinning the core, holding hands at the
How does it feel to be a hero?
A simple melody.
Do you realize what's at stake here?
Everything!
Find him, bring him here.
This actually looks pretty fantastic. Oh no, the Hobbit is in it.
There you are. Only the good things in life, that's all that matters.
That was just self-defense. You haven't killed anyone else, have you?
See, when you say, self-defense,
Only the good things. He's an ugly son of a bitch, though. It's all that matters to me.
The Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, that looks good. I'm actually excited for that. Thanks for the donation, Vegan Irishman. SV donated $2.
This is him. Yes, this is him.
I'm very sorry, sir.
Hold on a second. Wait, is this him?
Take your time.
Yes, it's definitely him.
Okay. So if you make your way
Wait,
to the...
it seems like him. Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
Have to make a decision.
And I'm not dead, but please don't stop on my account.
It's not very good. Thanks for the donation, SV.
Successful as he, in his wildest dreams, think he will be. It's essentially him creating the problem, fixing it, and being like,
Nah, I don't really get cravings for junk food. I usually just want to eat more tofu. Dodo donated $2. That was AI mukbang again. VG, it looked and sounded as real and degenerate as I expected. Don't skip. Look how realistic it looks. What the fuck?
That's sour.
You can tell it's fake when they put the thing in their mouth. We need to flood internet with vegan mukbang AI video. I don't know, I don't really feel comfortable contributing to that kind of slop. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Oh, do you see a bug? Are you getting a bug, Gum Gum? Gum Gum, did you get a bug? Gum Gum. Gum Gum. Gum Gum. You okay? You getting your bug? I think Gum Gum's chasing a bug.
like, I'm the hero, even if he does fix it, right?
Right, and it's by no means clear what a fix means.
Right.
You know, at this point, we have no idea to what extent they've crippled the ability of Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. Maybe they've moved a lot of their facilities. We don't know if the bombs that hit Fordo, the deep underground facility, actually destroyed it. And, you know, I hate to quote this guy, but he was...
Those bunker busters kind of work, dude.
Was right about Iraq. Defense Secretary Rumsfeld
SV donated $2. Let me
Will
see.
you kick that baby for $5 million?
Yeah.
Whoa!
I'd kick a baby for $5 million.
Wait! Where, you stupid bitch?
Here, take that! Oh, no. Yes! Yeah! Yes, dude! You know, that's what we're looking for, you know? Some main character shit! Oh, shit! Watch out! Oh!
All right, guys, the last letter of Hangman. What is it, guys? Come on. Great job, Jimmy. Look at you, buddy. You were just killing it. All right, this is a tricky one. Anyone?
M for Maggot!
Let's go, Jimmy.
Will you kick?
All right, thanks for the donation, SV. I'm a lot more high than I expected I would be. The guy at the store said that edible is a bit more potent, and he was right. That definitely has more potency. Holy fuck, if I were to take 2 of those, I'd just be ruined.
Rumsfeld, you know what he said?
Tell me.
He said we are confronting known unknowns and a plethora of unknown unknowns. And that's exactly what's happening now. There are known unknowns, like to what extent have we damaged their threshold nuclear capacities.
Oh, okay, so you're saying we should bomb them again. Good idea. What a fucking dipshit. What a stupid thing to say.
Then there are all kinds of unknown unknowns. What effect is this going to have on the regime in Iran? Is this really the end, or is regime change a option? As we know, our attempts to change regimes, which Trump himself has roundly criticized, has been a disaster in places like Libya and Iraq. We just don't have the capacity to do so. And in fact, back in the Obama administration, Trump blasted Obama. You know why? Because he said Obama wants to attack Iran. You know, all of the things.
Dodo, so, wait. Is he making a statement about Trump's hypocrisy, or is that... Because, like, if Barack Obama supported it, and this guy would acknowledge Barack Obama was a pretty smart guy, wouldn't you presumably be happy he's adopting a Barack Obama policy? $2, it's true, all the black mukbangers are all ghetto with fake nails and have way too much food. I'm surprised they're not as obese as I would expect.
And as you can see, we have mozzarella sticks, fried chicken, and other stuff. Girl, did I say we can eat yet? Oh.
500k likes on TikTok, AI mukbang is going viral. We're gonna have a society of, like, literal retards soon. Use AI for vegan advocacy. I mean, it could work. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Things that Trump has said, you know, we're not going to get involved in any wars. Regime change is a disaster.
I don't know if I'm going to play Death Stranding 2. The first game was, like, truly awful. Like, that was a bad game. So I don't know if I'm going to play 2. SV donated $2.
As of now, everyone in this room's test scores from last week have been tossed. They've been...
Yes, we saw that last night. Thanks for the donation, SV.
It's a huge mistake to go into the Middle East. He's now violated, as, you know, not just liberals, but some of his staunchest supporters.
Dodo donated $2. Why do you keep sending me this shit? I get it, okay? Holy fuck. Alright, yeah, AI mukbang, great. Why are they all black? And greasy. Oh my god, this...
People I don't agree with on anything, like Steve Bannon, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and others, have said, you know, this contradicts everything that Trump promised and everything that he was elected on. The unknown unknowns, what are the consequences of this? Is this just going to strengthen and tighten the Iran regime? Are they going to retaliate against the...
Yeah, the Iranian regime is really strong right now, right? Dude, I think this is shown, like, really proven. There's no sensible political party. Like, it's all tribalism. These people just feel a certain way about certain things, and there's no, like, rational logic behind any of it. They just say things that is part of their, like, tribe or political party, like what they're expected to say.
U.S. attacking U.S. bases in places like Iraq and Syria, launching terrorist attacks on the U.S. itself, and perhaps closing down the Persian Gulf, which would spike oil prices and undermine our economy. Who knows at this point? But I do know one thing.
We don't get any... Yeah, the U.S. doesn't get any oil from Iran. So what is he talking about?
Who is the big beneficiary of all this, Sam?
Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin. Once again, as he has done so many times, Trump is playing right into the hands of Vladimir Putin for three reasons, really. Number one, to the extent we're focusing on the Middle East, what does that do to our support for Ukraine, which Trump was always lukewarm about anyway? What does that do, Sam?
Pulls resources away.
Yes, it totally diverts from supporting Ukraine. And remember, Putin's number one objective, one he's spent so much prestige, so much treasure, produced so many lost Russian lives on, is to gobble up as much territory from the sovereign nation of Ukraine, ultimately conquer it as part of his plan to reestablish the Russian Empire. Secondly, it plays right into the hands of Putin, because if Iran retaliates...
Like, Iran was supplying Russia with drones. So I don't see how U.S. military intervention helps Russia in a broad general sense.
They're not going to retaliate against Russia, are they?
No.
Yeah, Iran retaliating when a fuck ton of their ballistic missile systems are destroyed, and their ballistic missiles are also depleted, and the US could destroy them in a fucking day. Like, I don't know, like, why do all these lefties think Iran could wage some, like, large-scale war against the United States? Like, even as bad as the Iraq War was, the U.S. military defeated the Iraqi army in days. Like, it didn't take long. So it's just so bizarre how they're, like, talking about how, oh, Iran could, like, really to the United States. Like, no, they can't. It's kind of part of the point of attacking them now. SV donated $2.
Okay, Alex, I don't think I want to ask you what it is, but is it dangerous?
Oh, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous?
I'm pretty much risking my life in front of you guys.
All right, Alex, we'll
Sword swallowing. I've never seen anybody do that, but yeah, that does look dangerous. I mean, I've seen Riley Reid do something similar. Thanks for the donation, SV.
They retaliate against the U.S. And remember, Putin is not our friend. He is a murderous dictator who kills his political opponents and wants to destroy democracy wherever he finds it. Finally, if they do close the Persian Gulf and oil prices go up and it harms the American economy, who benefits?
Tell me.
Russia.
Yeah, okay. This guy literally has no fucking clue what he's talking about. That's just some of the silliest shit imaginable. Like, Iran is not a major oil provider. I think they can only trade oil to, like, China. Maybe they sell to India? But they're not trading with anybody. Mark Kerr.
Pill today that you are taking your diet and nutrition very seriously. So,
Hey, he doesn't know.
If you don't know.
But that's okay. That's okay. We have, I call it grace, right? We give him grace.
You give him a little bit.
You give him grace.
Hey, that's because we come from a different era. Pride. We different right here.
Oh, we different.
Oh,
yeah. Hey, we got to announce the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, the most requested guest. And I say that to a lot of people, and the internet thinks I'm joking, but I am not.
Yeah.
This is truly the most requested guest.
I'll give you that one.
He's got a movie coming out starring The Rock. He's an MMA icon.
I love you, bro. All of us do too, brother. Man, I remember watching you back in the day when I first started.
Did you ever do a training camp up in Big Bear?
Yeah, we trained together.
We trained together, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not delusional.
No. I remember it was me, you, Rico Rodriguez. I think Tito was up there.
Tito was up there.
Colin Oyama.
Yep.
And then we had some other training
other players, right? Other players.
It was a good training camp.
Oh my God, it was a great training camp.
I learned a lot. And that training camp,
Dude, Mark Kerr was an absolute fucking monster when he was fighting in the UFC in Pride. Yeah, apparently he was already pretty goddamn big before steroids. He didn't actually grow that much from getting on gear. Yeah, there was a bunch of things that fucked up his career. The rule changes in the UFC and Pride really screwed him. Because he couldn't headbutt anymore and shit, and his aggressive style just became more difficult. Yeah, steroids are pretty great. He also had a really fucked up loss in Pride to this Japanese dude. He couldn't knock him out. He kept like just annihilating this guy's fucking skull, but he couldn't knock him out. And then he got tired, and then the guy got like a submission win or something. It was really messed up. Like, he really should have won the fight. But yeah, he just ended up fighting a guy who had like the strongest fucking chin imaginable. Son Goku donated $2. Yeah, you like this chick. I'm not super into her. Like, she's conventionally attractive and everything. Got a good body, but yeah, I just don't really find her that attractive. Thanks for the donation, though, Son Goku.
My first time submitting Rico Rodriguez with an armbar, he had a boxing glove on, and he never admits it.
Oh my God, he would never. He would never admit. I could just tell you that right now. Yeah. So with Rico, when I was training with him, the big thing with him is I looked at him and I go, maybe a year, and he's like, a year what? And I go, maybe a little longer. And he goes, what? And I go, it'll take you at least a year plus to be able to take me down. And he's like, no. And I go, yeah, about maybe a year and a half. You know, and he's like, no, fucking way. 2 years. It took him. Took him 2 years? 2 years. Him and I would, like, literally, if I was going to give it up, I would fight him all the way across the dojo, into the wall, into the corner, back around the corner, back around the heavy bag. It didn't matter. I mean, he would attack, go. And it was a point of pride for me going, hey, listen, here, if you can take me down, you can take anybody in MMA down right now. You know, and he didn't completely understand that until a point where I got so frustrated. You know what I had to do? He reminded me of this. I said, hey, we're going to go to a different dojo tonight. I'm going to allow you to feed. And he's like, allow me to feed? And I go, I'm going to allow you to feed. So went to a dojo where they had open practice, and he just annihilated everybody. And I go.
See, you donate $2. New vegetable insight from Sv3rige. I'm sure this is going to be stupid.
To her 3 years ago.
Bread is one of my favorite things. Arugula.
She's going to run into insane problems.
This is a true flavor bomb, trust me.
Just the amount of antibiotics that she consumes on a daily
I don't think he understands what an antibiotic is.
basis is completely going to destroy her gut. It could easily happen within months, certainly years.
Look, anorexic, stop lying about it. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna tell my gut to stop having issues because I'm just making it up.
The past few months were hell for me, and I don't wish this on anyone. Imagine having such severe gut issues that all you can do on some days is cry. So you go from doctor to doctor, but no one can really help you. Yes, I did lose weight, and I hate it, so I don't need you to remind me of that. So please, stop commenting, stop.
I was actually wondering if she had an eating disorder, so apparently it's, some digestive issue. Like, she might have ulcerative colitis or something, who knows? And again, it seems to have a big genetic risk factor behind it, so I don't know, like, everything Sv3rige says is fucking stupid. Like, by the way, when anybody brings me up, like, asks Sv3rige, okay, well, how is vegan gain so big, strong, and all this shit, aging well on the vegan diet? He literally will not accept the fact that I'm vegan because I debunk all of his stupid fucking dumb shit nonsense. Oh, yes, I think vegan gains quit veganism, like 7 or 8 years ago, and he eats some meat now. Even though he lies about being vegan? Like, I've seen him do that shit on his streams. Fucking idiot.
Stop diagnosing others without knowing the full picture.
How do you not understand that eating green leaves, flowers, and seeds did this to you?
And again, here I am eating those same foods. Don't have gut issues. Strong as fuck. Again, this guy's just a delusional liar.
You're not supposed to eat that
Oh yeah, he also claims I'm on
as a
steroids.
human being. It's not even food. You're consuming gut disruptors, anti-nutrients, toxins all day long.
Weird. All those things seem to be working well for me.
The only things that human beings can eat without having to cook their shit out of is meat and fruit. So
no, I'm pretty sure I had broccoli once, and I ate it raw and I was fine. I've also eaten raw carrots, which I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's a vegetable, not a fruit. So someone's a little fucking stupid.
there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a lot nicer than people realize.
Alright, well, have fun with the parasites and whatnot.
I don't know if Eddie saw the 2 videos that I made about him. I'm just glad that he's normalizing eating raw meat, whatever the reason for it is. And he's right. You would be eating fruits and raw meat in nature, and that's because you would not be eating green leaves. I know that you're brainwashed to eat spinach and other green leaves, but if you would try this in nature, you would die from malnutrition.
You would die from malnutrition if you have a salad that has spinach in it.
And you would also get poisoned. This is toxic.
Well, that's also not spinach.
You would also not be eating flowers. I know that you eat broccoli and cauliflower, actual real flowers, but in nature, you would again die from malnutrition and you would get poisoned.
So, that wouldn't be broccoli, though. This is like saying, if you eat a puffer fish, you die. So, meat will kill you if you eat it. Well, yeah, if you eat a puffer fish, well, like, yeah, there's poisonous plants. That's why we don't eat those, and we eat the edible plants.
You would never do that. You would also not pick little seeds from flowers and then put them in what? In a pot? There's no such thing in nature. You would not be able to cook anything. You would not be eating these inedible items. You would also not try to pull out thin, toxic, bitter carrots from the ground. They are inedible. All of these cultivated...
So the carrots I've been eating are inedible. That's news to me.
Man-made vegetables and even fruits that you eat don't even exist in nature. The reality is that if you would be set out into nature and you would have to survive, you would hunt down animals, drink their blood, and eat their raw organs.
Does Sv3rige realize he doesn't do that and he just buys meat from a grocery store?
And also muscle meat if you don't have enough meat. That's the reality. And you would rarely find any edible fruits, and it would be even rarer to find honey. You would be eating animals over 90% of the time. People don't think about this because they eat food from supermarkets, but in reality, in nature, in its natural raw state, that's all that you can eat, and you cannot find salt.
He gets his food from a supermarket. I've never seen him film a video where he chases down a deer and kills it with his bare hands and then eats it.
Salt in nature.
Well, that was stupid. Thanks for the donation, C.
I love the Punisher hoodie from your shop.
makes me motivated to crush anything just wearing it. You gonna hate this video, but I think she fine.
Alright, well that's dope, SV. I'm actually wearing the vegan Punisher shirt right now. I like the design. Let me take a look.
Oh.
What?
I've never seen this before, so I'm interested. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's so cool. What was that?
Oh, it was like a magic trick. Ah!
You got anything else? Show me the best magic trick you got.
Well, how old are you?
18.
Of course I could show you the best magic in the world. Because I'm Chrissy. Hey, now. Yeah.
How old are you?
How? You should never ask a lady her age, okay?
Yo, you're the most entertaining person I've met on here. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, thank you so much. Why don't we try a card trick?
Card trick? I would love a card trick.
Then do me a favor and tell me when to stop.
Right there.
Remember this card.
You're looking at another screen, aren't you?
No.
Okay.
But even if I was, you think I need that?
Wee woo. Did someone call 911? What's the emergency? You didn't stub your A now. Well, thank God we have nurse Chrissy. A now.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. There we go. There we go. Oh, is that a BBL? Excuse me? Panties. Oh, shit.
Doctor, I need your help.
Oh.
What is it, Miss Chrissy? What could it be?
Oh, shit.
No, I really do. I don't know what their card is. I have no idea. Can you help me? I'm back to work.
Now.
That wasn't good. Thanks for the donation, SV.
See what I mean?
I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back. I just have to pee-pee. Oh, all right. I am back. Had my camera. How did I leave this on? What the fuck? Weird. I had my camera upstairs. Ugh.
I wonder if any SJWs will be upset that Trump bombed Iran.
Oh yeah, they are. They're already posting and complaining about it on Twitter. Like the maggots they are. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Son Goku no Tellers have officially read 530 chapters in One Piece, and I only have like 700 more to go. Also, would you say he's based?
The black community amazes me when it comes to health and fitness. Anytime there's a stat about black people that's in our favor, black dads are the most active. Oh yeah, bruh, yeah. Black women get the most degrees. Yes, girl, y'all doing all of this shit, right? Yes, educated black women. The moment a stat comes out and says something about black people being the most obese or black women being the most obese, now it's white supremacy. Now you don't believe it all of a sudden. You know damn well you go to a black church, black supermarket, black whatever, it's filled with obese people. And that's not hate, that's just the truth. It's not the white man trying to bring us down. Go in any comment section of a woman who lost weight. You got dudes in there telling her she lost her butt and she looked better thicker. Go to a guy who lost weight. Now they calling him gay. Y'all don't blame that, but y'all want to sit here and say it's a...
I don't know exactly how true this is. Like, there's definitely communities of black people, especially like black women that are in the fat acceptance kind of sphere, who will do this shit, but like black dudes, I mean, especially because of like gang and prison culture, I don't think you can find any community of black men where none of them, or like where all of them think, oh, fitness is gay, fried chicken based, get fat as fuck. Like, it's just not happening. Thanks for the donation though, Son Goku. And is One Piece worth reading, like, since you've read about half of it?
Here is some random shit I found in someone's bum.
I liked Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. That was a fun movie. Okay then. Thanks for the donation, SV. Christ donated $2. The attack on Iran is more enough proof that America is just Israel's puppet. Make Israel fall in line again. You're retarded.
Into World War III. I'm not dying for Israel. You half-wits do realize that if Iran was successful in creating a nuclear weapon...
Zero tangible evidence that Iran was building a nuclear weapon.
You mean other than the fact that they were making weapons-grade uranium? And they lied saying they weren't.
You live in the United States. You benefit from the United States, yet you somehow always put the interest of Israel first. You want to fight this war so bad, I'll pay for...
Yes, because we would benefit from having an Islamic jihadist regime have a nuclear weapon.
Your ticket to Israel, you put a weapon in your hands, and you step on the front lines of that battle. Otherwise, keep your mouth shut.
Okay, then this guy, like, says, oh, Israel's committing a genocide, go Palestine, Hamas are freedom fighters. Okay, are you gonna go join Hamas and start killing Israelis? Oh, you're not? Then keep your mouth shut. Fucking idiot.
We are Christ first. We are America first. Forever.
Fucktard. Thanks for the donation, dumbass.
And speaking of maggots.
Let me take a look.
The moment an Iranian missile slammed into Soroka Hospital in Beersheba this morning.
Iranian missile hits one of Israel's hospitals. Massive hypocrisy. Israel has never bombed a hospital. Like, they're literally just a fascist propaganda website at this point. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
It's just one of those things where it's like every now and then when you have somebody that's a little bit better in one discipline, you know, you need the ability to boost their confidence. Yeah. Second that he did that, it was like, holy shit, man. He was like, okay, let's, you know, because a little bit of success is what feeds you.
Yeah,
what fed me.
He's one of the most competitive guys I've trained with.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's actually good. I got a story, which is after the Grand Prix, which this movie's based around and stuff like that. After the Grand Prix, he went down to Texas to train with Saul Solis, right? Yeah. And we go down there. I go down there reluctantly. He's like, hey, listen, I need your help. Da, 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 da. I'm like, okay. So I go down to Houston. It's August in Houston. Oh, nasty. You know this, right? I mean, it is just... the
humidity, the heat. Oh my god!
Oh, it's just nasty, right? Yeah. And so we get where we're kickboxing, and he Superman punches me, and he fucking lands it square in my face, right? And I literally go, okay, if that's what you're gonna do, right? And it's like, game on, motherfucker. And so we went at it to a point where his weakness was he didn't check kicks. And so we had chin guards on his shit, but I kicked him until he couldn't walk. And he and I just went at it. We didn't talk for 3 days. And then finally he ends up getting a hold of me and says, hey, you meet me for breakfast? I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you for breakfast. And so we went there both limping in, like you see us get out of the car and him limping as we're walking in. But that's
Rico though.
That's Rico. That is.
The first time I trained with him in Big Bear, he had just injured Tito. I think Tito.
Also, we are Christ first, we are America first, so it looks like we have a Christian nut job telling this lovely lady to keep her mouth shut.
You know, they're just fucktards. I don't know why it's so hard for people to be sensible, but seems to be very difficult for most people. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
It was fighting Vladimir Matyashenko.
Oh, shit.
And so they was carrying Tito out of the gym, and he was like, oh, come on, Rampage, come spar with me. I was like, okay. You know, I was green. I didn't know a whole lot then. And he was like, let's go light. He whispered it. And then he does a flying Muay Thai knee to my stomach and knocks me out of the ring, in between the ring and the garage.
Yeah, yeah.
Then he turns around and puts his hands up like he just wanted to fight. He knocked the wind out of me. And for
oh my God.
The craziest thing, I didn't even care that the wind was knocking out of me. I saw him raise his hands up.
Yeah.
And we got to fight and they had to break it up. That was my first time training with him.
Shit, I'm just telling you, and part of this, and you know this, you got to stand your ground.
With Rico,
you got to stand your ground. I mean, there's some smart partners where, you know, they understand it, they get it, but some of them are like, shit, man, you're gonna show me some respect one way or the other.
Exactly. That's part of it. You know, you're going against somebody, especially somebody you don't know, and it's like they testing your alpha. Who's the biggest alpha? In the ring?
And you know that. So like my big. I would tell people this. I go, well, you know, the good thing about I was a heavyweight, so you can get 165 pound dude talking shit, and just you can remind him, you're 165 pounds. You know, they got HWT. That means heavyweight. Yeah. It means usually I'm twice as big as you, you know. So, anyways,
what did you walk around at a heavyweight? You didn't have.
So what I found out is like my real honest, like if I was being honest with myself, my best fighting weight was like 240. You know, if I was too light, I trained too hard. If I was too heavy, I didn't train hard enough. You know, it's kind of that sweet spot. You know, like getting on a scale, going, if I'm 240, 245, I'm good. I'm strong enough. You know, I have enough cardio where I can get at it. You know, but if I was like the
And speaking of not being sensible.
Just because Iran has a lot of issues in its society does not mean any of us should support Israel against it. I think anyone who claims to be anti-imperialism should show critical support. Hands off Iran, Israel, and America can fuck off. Yeah. It's funny how people who just have no fucking clue have some of the strongest opinions. It's like they're too stupid to know that they don't know. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. SV donated $2.
It's not prostate cancer. I could kiss you. I mean, that's great news. Oh, man, you made my day. Yeah, thanks, Doc. Yeah, I thought I was a goner. Yeah, Doc, I gotta run. Duty calls, and thank you so much. You have a nice day, too. Yeah, bye. Woo! Man, no one can piss on this day. It's not.
All right, well, thanks for the donation, SV.
Grand Prix, I went in, I was like 231, and I wasn't eating enough. Speaking about eating, you know, broccoli.
We talked about that this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, he's over here eating Lunchables. Rampage first day of his diet, you know.
But back then, you had there was no cap on heavyweight.
No.
So you was fighting like guys like.
Oh my God, man! Yeah, you could do it. And over in Japan, it was such an oddity because you know this. I mean, they'd have a sumo guy.
Yeah.
Because Japanese culture still thought that was the baddest dude on the planet. You know, oh, he's 600 pounds. He's, and it was like, you know, MMA was that first journey into shattering all those myths about being tough. You know, you didn't need to be 6'7", 400 pounds. You can get a 185-pound dude to beat the brakes off you.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Rampage was talking about TJ, and TJ Dillashaw was on here, and you know he's one of our co-hosts, and he does a lot of our MMA breakdowns. He was talking about how impactful wrestling is on MMA and being a good ground base for people learning the sport because there's so many different dynamics, but being great at all of them is very important in today's time. And your time, obviously, being a two-time NCAA champion. I mean, how important was that going into your MMA career?
Oh, it was fundamental. You know, because like I was joking earlier, I said wrestling gives you the ability to hold somebody where they don't want to be held, right? For as long as you want to hold them there. And the third one is they can't do a fucking thing about it. Like straight up, like people go, oh shit, man, he's from Uzbekistan. Oh, this is gonna be interesting because it really is one of those just fundamental pieces. You know what's crazy is I say this all the time. I said my secret power was I can turn anybody into a wrestler, and if they were wrestling me, I knew I was better than them. You know, I didn't want to fight them.
You know, make it more of a wrestling match.
Yeah. If I made a wrestling match, I was going to win, you know, because I was going to put myself in positions I knew how to control. I knew what to do. And then when I didn't really understand stuff, like going over doing ADCC stuff, right? Like what I found out through that whole thing with, you know, training with Rico, and he's just incredible jiu-jitsu guy, you know, like from Higa Machado on, you know, just small moves. Like I just didn't move. Like if I felt like I was in a bad position, I just tiny moves, you know, I'd do nothing big, you know, and it didn't give the person an opportunity to.
By the way, we have done this to other countries like Japan and Germany, so by his logic we should have just left the Nazis alone then and keep putting Jews in ovens. Is he insane?
They're genuinely retarded, dude. Like, yeah, their line of reasoning would have led to, like, U.S. non-involvement in World War II, all these countries just trying to negotiate, doing nothing, then letting Hitler do whatever he wanted. Like, their line of thinking would have, like, destroyed civilization as we know it. Like, for all the problems the U.S. has caused in other nations, like, you know, Iraq, Vietnam and shit, I think they don't respect, like, the good that comes out of it, where, yeah, if you are, like, the type of person to stand up to a bully or make sure you're, like, enforcing some kind of world order, like it is going to result in mistakes and problems and like issues in the region, but not having that mindset and always being, okay, I'm not going to get involved, I'm going to stay away, like, you know, I'm just going to stick to myself. The spread of communism and fascism would have been far greater, and it would create far more fucking problems than, you know, the US getting involved where maybe it shouldn't have or had a different strategy. Like, they can't really ever think of the counterfactual, right? Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Catch me in something, right? So it was just this crazy learning curve, man.
When we talk about ADCC, there's a very famous match with Leo Vieira, who's also one of our partners on our Santo Studio Jiu-Jitsu Academy here in Newport Beach. And this ADCC match is still talked about. It's you versus Leo Vieira. I mean, you're about twice his size, probably 3 times the weight. And he's doing the best he can. And he's, you know, he's trying to shoot it on you. And then at one point you pick him up and someone winks at you from the audience. What is this story about?
Oh my God, man. So in ADCC, when you win your weight class, you're invited to the all around, right? And to determine the champ of champs, right? And so in the all around, my first match was against Leo, and he's, I don't know, what was his weight back then? Do you have like
probably 50, 150, 140?
Okay,
I mean,
somewhere in there, and I'm weighing 250 pounds, right? And so we get in this match, and you know what? It's nothing I've ever experienced before. Because normally I've wrestled weight classes my whole entire life. It was the first time it was like an open. And so we start going at it, and I ended up picking him up, and he ends up like climbing me like a tree. He ends up like climbing on top of my, so eventually my arm is like in the air, and his butt's on my shoulder.
I doubt that guy is pro-Palestinian. Just a Christian extremist tard. You know, the kind that is anti-abortion, anti-vaccine, anti-OnlyFans etc. Now an ex-Trump supporter for his support for Israel. One of Christians that hates Jews for killing Jesus lol.
I see. So he's just a little bitch. Alright, thanks for the donation though, Grey Knight.
And there's like an opportunity, like a split second when you watch it, for me to just spike him on his head. Like literally spike.
If there is anything conservatives were right about, it's that communism is cancer.
Yeah, they were. They're definitely right about that. And there has unfortunately been a lot of communist infiltration into the left wing. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Spike him on his head. And I look over in the corner and I see this little going, like, don't do it. Like, don't you do it. No, don't do it. And
who was it?
It was Rico Rodriguez. Rico Rodriguez is in my corner.
Wow.
So Rico ends up going like, don't do it. And so if you watch it, I bring him back down to the ground. What I didn't understand is that the sheet was giving out a sportsmanship award, which was $10,000. So after the tournament was over, it's like, and we're going to give you $10,000 more for your sportsmanship. And I'm like, because I didn't spike him. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, cool.
I'll take it.
That could have messed him up bad.
Oh my God, it could have. And it's just one of those where in that minute, you don't want to hurt somebody. Yeah. I mean, that's not what that was about. Yeah. It was one of those moments I look back and going, you know, God, that could have ended up 50 different ways. That could have ended up buried in the desert somewhere, right? I mean, seriously, you know, like if they don't want you to come back, you're not coming back.
I mean, 2-time ADCC absolute champion, 2-time NCAA wrestling champion. I mean, your wrestling pedigree and what you did for wrestling coming into MMA, I don't think it'll ever be matched. I mean, we see guys like Bo Nickel and Gable Stevenson who are trying to make the MMA jump, and those doing great. But to be at that level is incredible, and then to have done it, I mean, and win in the UFC as well, UFC 15 and 14 tournament winner. Yeah, like you double of everything. That's your lucky number,
right? It should be T2T. Yeah, you know, it's like I was saying earlier, there wasn't, you know, back then there wasn't a roadmap. We didn't have, you know, all the knowledge. Like to explain it to my son and going, we didn't have the internet, right? I couldn't just get on the internet and go, you know, and pull something up and have a reference point for it. It was like trial and error, right? You know, and a lot of what I did know was this one thing, that when you compete in wrestling at a really high level, it gives you an advantage because you know what hard work is. Like you genuinely know what hard work is, right? So somebody that comes out of a dojo, it's a little bit different because they're not always competing on a world stage. If you're high level BJJ, you're competing on a world stage. You compete for Pan Am World Championships and stuff like that. But other than that, you know, it's like shit. You know, hard work. I used to think I knew how to work hard, and then I had a mentor in college that grabbed me by the hand and goes, "You don't know shit." Basically, it's you know, hard work is this.
There's a different level when you're in college wrestling.
Oh yeah, it's completely I had a mentor come into my life. He was 14 years older than me, made the 1980 Olympic team, and then won a bronze medal in the 92 Olympics. So 12 years apart. His name was Chris Campbell. And he showed me like what hard work was. And it was like, it was just this very methodical. Everything was just this methodical approach to it. It wasn't this randomness, you know, like I'm going to go do sprints today. I'm going to go do that. It was very, see, like you're training. It's everything systematic, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do groundwork on Monday. We're going to do hands on Tuesday. We're going to do strength and conditioning. And
yeah, the Smashing Machine documentary was really cool. I think if he didn't have his crazy fucking bitch girlfriend at the time, he probably would have been fine still being addicted to drugs, but I think the combination of the drug addiction and his crazy bitch girlfriend just fucked him over.
Because it has to be.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be systematic like that. But back then there wasn't.
Dodo $20. If you have sex with a new girl, would you use any protection? Kind of depends. I've never had sex with a condom. Condoms are sort of horrible. But, I mean, if I really don't know anything about them and I really want to have sex, then I guess I'd try to have sex with a condom, but yeah. You should wear condoms, by the way, but yeah, usually I just get my partner to get a, like, STD screening. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Is BJJ kind of unusable in a real street fight? I wouldn't say that. Competition BJJ would get you killed in a street fight if you're the type of idiot to like turtle immediately and try to pull guard. Like, you're gonna get killed doing something like that. But no, the idea that BJJ is completely inapplicable to street fighting's nonsense.
A huge knowledge base of that.
Yeah, I want you to touch on that. You know, a lot of fighters now, they're studying their opponents and stuff like that. And you didn't have that liberty to study everybody like that, right? It's so hard to get the tapes.
Oh my God, man. So it's funny you even say that. Like, we're going to cover some of this. Like I wrestled for Team Foxcatcher back when I got out of college. They brought me on board for Team Foxcatcher in 1993. Back then, John DuPont had somebody, and I don't know who it was, accumulate all these VHS tapes. So, excuse me, back then you could sit down and watch your Russian, because they would go all over the world and film. And it was so state of the art. It was these big laser discs that you could pile them on. And back then you could sit and watch it. And it started with me like this idea of like, I can not only understand what my opponent does, but I can learn a bunch of different stuff, right? Yeah. So it became part of like what I tried to do. Yeah. You know, but again, it's one of those where it's like try to go find a VHS tape of, you know, a pride fight that happened in 1999.
Yeah. It seemed like it would be real difficult.
It was difficult. Like I don't know if you remember like the corner video stores.
Yeah.
You know, like they had the double swinging doors for porn.
Yeah.
Watching those.
Rampage knows about that.
What?
Why would you say I know about that?
Well, you do. Well, I mean,
it was everywhere.
Observational.
Yeah. You walk down the street, you see like a bunch of them. There was like 7-Elevens.
Yeah, they were. They were at every street corner, really. Yeah. And so right next to that little porn section was your mixed martial arts tapes, right? You go in next to and you grab your, because I've run into people that would wait for that tape to drop. Like a Jordan shoe drop, right? That's crazy. Wait for it because they would talk to the video owner and they go like, "Yeah, we haven't ordered. They should be here, you know, next Friday or Thursday or whatever." And they would get them and watch them to a point where I've had a couple of fans that have watched them to where the tape broke because they'd watched it so many times, and it was one of those. Once you got hooked on, you know, mixed martial arts back then, you were hooked. Yeah, you know, you were hooked.
You had to be a diehard fan back then.
Oh hell yeah!
It wasn't as mainstream as now. Do you,
not at all.
Do you think the sport will ever be it as, you know, where it is right now when you was fighting back then?
Oh God, no, man. Like straight up, like, you know, there was I lived in Santa Monica for a little bit, for a couple of years, and a friend of mine introduced me to an agent at William Morris, right? And he set a meeting up, and I sat down at a table like this.
Yeah, I saw that Foxcatcher documentary on Netflix. That was so fucking weird. I think it's crazy that some of those wrestlers stayed at that guy's house once he started taking out guns and like fucking threatening them and shit. I mean, the dude was retarded. Clearly, like he had some mental problem, like where he can't learn things or some shit. Probably like severe autist or some shit. And then on top of that, he's getting like insanely fucking paranoid and he has a bunch of fucking guns and crap. Like, I can sympathize with the idea, like, okay, yeah, he's really their only route to playing professional sports. But if you're dead, you can't play professional sports. So, like it was so obvious. Maybe hindsight's 20/20, but I mean, like, it was so obvious they should have left. But then they stayed there, and then the guy like shot and killed the dude.
And tried to explain to some agents what I did. And I swear, Rampage, it was like crickets. No, I mean, literally, I got done, well, and they're like, you do what? Like, you get in, because basically it was like, okay, I put on some hot pants, right? And steel cup and like little tiny gloves, no shoes on, and I go fight a motherfucker. They're like, okay. Like nobody had anything to say. And it was like 6 different agents that were involved with the heartbeat of all, none of them. They're like, thank you for coming in. Like, okay.
They didn't understand it at all.
Oh my God, it was. I think the question they kept trying to get to is like, why? Like, why do you do that? And I go, well, because it can.
Yeah, it's like boxing with less rules.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it really is. Yeah.
Well, that's how I used to explain it back in the day.
I mean, that cuts out a lot of the like. Okay, we're good. Well, it combines this sport and this sport and this sport and that sport, and it does this and this and this. Because thinking about it being mainstream, corporate America embracing it, the Disney company owning the rights to broadcast it, right? And it being worth $12-14 billion as a company, like, no, fucking
never.
Man.
I never thought it was going to get there. Never thought.
Both of you guys were at the forefront of different generations and different eras of fighters, but also where fighting was going in terms of just like culturally. Like when you started, I mean, you guys pioneered the whole game. And then when you came into the scene, you showed what a fighter could do outside of the cage as well as winning world championships at the same time, right? So I feel like you guys have both been so influential at pioneering the sport, pioneering the world of MMA for what we have in today's time. We also have seen guys like in college wrestling make names. I mean, your relationship with Kurt Angle, for example, then he goes and becomes one of the greatest wrestlers
oh my God, man,
outside of you know, just collegiate wrestling.
Yeah.
What's the relationship with him? Did you guys have a good relationship?
So, man, wow. So, like, people that follow wrestling don't understand this. So, Kurt and I he went to a small little Pennsylvania school called Clarion. And Pennsylvania, like these small schools like Clarion, the only thing they have Division I is wrestling. Everything else is Division III, right? Edinburgh, same thing. Division I wrestling, Division III, everything else. So he goes to a small little school, and he's a 3-time NCAA finalist, 2-time NCAA champ, right? At heavyweight. He's an undersized heavyweight, right? We competed against each other after college. So in 1993, we wrestled at the world champ, the way wrestling's set up is you have a nationals, and nationals every year makes the ranking in your weight class, and that ranking allows you to go to world team trials.
Got my set on a Suzuki Boulevard M109R. Boss, it's my dream bike. That is a really nice looking bike. It's kind of funny that Suzuki even made it. You wouldn't expect it to be a Suzuki, but yeah, that is a nice bike.
Right, world team trials sorts out in that ranking who's the best of the best, right? The number 1 guy sits on the side. They have a pool of wrestlers that wrestle, and out of that pool, whoever wins that challenges the number 1 guy for the world team spot. So Kurt and I competed against each other in 93, 94, 95, and then going into the Olympic year, I had a bunch of injuries, he had a bunch of injuries, but he ended up winning a gold medal in Atlanta. And 93, he didn't win any match against me. 94, he didn't win any match. I won the freestyle nationals. I won the world team trials. 93, I won the world team trials. And just one of those things in 95 in nationals, freestyle nationals, we wrestled and he had gotten bigger, stronger. and so he beat me. We tied during the match, and they have passivity calls, stalling calls. And he beat me. And then he beat me in the world team trials. And then he wins the Olympic spot in 96. And then he wins a gold medal. Here's what's crazy. So my mom had terminal cancer in 96. And my mom and I.
Kid Buddha, $92. Let me see.
Manufacturing went in a hole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris. Wait.
Number two.
Chris.
Number three.
They said it would take. No, you're number two.
Manufacturing went in a hole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris. Wait.
Number two.
Chris.
Number three.
They said it would take. No, you're number two.
I don't recall that, but that's funny. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
I watched Kurt win the gold medal, and we tried crazy to get a hold of him. And just imagine how busy he was doing all the press and doing all the stuff. And he took time out to write a letter to my mom. My mom passed away September 3rd of 96, and the letter got there September 5th. But the letter means more to my family because Kurt it's this beautiful letter where he's just like, thank you, Mary, for, thinking of me at a time like this.
Wow.
And wishing me well. And him saying, you've always cheered for me, even though I competed against your son. And because you made your son, you made me. And it's just this beautiful Paige. I'll show you the letter, dude. It gives me goosebumps every time, man.
That's deep, man.
I mean, like,
that's a stand-up guy.
Oh
I had no
my
idea.
God, man. Yeah. And that was like just who he is, his character and person. And it's one of those where even to this day, it's still a coveted letter that we keep, like my brother just had sent Kurt an email, and all these years later just said, hey, listen, I just want to thank you, after all these years, man, for doing that. Because that letter, every time my brother reads it, he cries. Every time I read it, I cry.
Wow.
So.
Had to be at the height of your game like that and to take time. It's not an email where you could do it from your phone. You got to sit down and
he sent it. I still have the letter, still have the postmark on it.
Did you guys keep in touch as friends?
So he went on and did the WWE, and we bumped into each other again last year. Through the years, we just had periodic contact. But you know what's crazy about wrestlers? Paige can get an idea about this. So I cannot talk to him for 10 years.
Why does your face look puffy? I don't think my face looks puffy, dude.
Years, and then get on the phone with him and talk to him for an hour and a half. It's just that connectivity that you have from that shared experience. Like, I've been around Paige in a year, and I could pull him aside, him and I can fucking chop it up for a couple hours just talking about stuff.
You've talked about this, though. You've talked about how fighters have this unique sensibility that even if they don't fight each other, just being a part of matches, Grand Prix, being a part of fight nights or, cards, you just connect. Like, there's a connection that's beyond normal friendship.
It's like a brotherhood or something like that. It's kind of hard to explain it.
It is. Yeah. It is because, you know what, it's one of those where it's there's connection. It's just a connection because it's a shared experience, right? Like, I know what it's like to fucking go through a training camp and like literally be at just exhaustion, and you still have to get up and do the same thing tomorrow.
I mean, it's crazy because 10 minutes ago we were with Coach Brillo. They probably haven't seen each other in 20 years, and they were talking about a story with the McCauley brothers. And I'm like, I didn't even know you knew the McCauley brothers. And Brillo's like, I haven't seen you in 20 years, Mark. How you doing? And they just hit 10 seconds. They start talking about this story. I'm like, guys haven't seen each other in 20 years, and you already remember the story. What was the story? What was going on?
They were just nuts. They were they would fight anybody.
Really?
Yeah. They were the original Diaz brothers.
Wow.
Like the Diaz boys together, they take on anybody. And the McCauley's were the same way.
You were going to train with them, or you were going to learn something with them?
So a friend of mine, Rick Bassman, right? He had a school, and the school was.
Nah, haven't played the Sparking Zero DBZ game yet. I'll probably get it eventually.
A couple different things.
Don't these SJWS reels that under communism society would not exist and we would all be living like cavemen, is that what they want? Do they really want our species to develop?
I think they'd probably be fine with that. What they really want is they don't like the idea of somebody having more money than them. So I think they are the kind of dipshits who would want, like, society to go back to the Stone Age just so that nobody has more money than them. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Things. Pro wrestling is what you would go there to learn, just the whole entire rhythm of pro wrestling and stuff like that. That's what the McCauley's were involved in, but also he had MMA there as well. And so Mark Coleman and I actually rented an apartment in Orange County for 6 months.
You and Mark Coleman were
Mark Coleman,
Wow.
yeah. And so I still had a place in
That's
in
funny, I didn't
Arizona,
know
and I
that.
would drive over and spend like 3 days there and learn some pro wrestling stuff and drive back and forth. And Cole would stay out there and, you know, stuff like that. It was one of those things we're looking back on and going, oh shit, I forgot about that. We're talking about that. We were like some experiences, I just, you know, my bandwidth is just like, oh shit, I got to actually talk to Cole about that because he'll remember something I forgot.
Yeah, but I was always wondering why you never got into pro wrestling.
You know, part of, like, I actually had a conversation in Arizona with Shane McMahon and JR, who used to do I don't know if he's still alive or not, but it's just
JR. He's where the cowboy.
Yeah. So part of the conversation was there's no way to go from where I was to where I wanted to be without this developmental part, because they would have to see if they can even put me over as a character, right? And so I go, you know, I'm making really good money fighting right now. Why would I go to pro wrestling where it's like, I mean, The Rock, he goes, you know, way back when, he's like, yeah, he was making $150,000 a year, right? He was on the road 325 days out of the year. 325 days out of the year. He was paying to be on the road, basically. If you do the math, it's like.
But wouldn't that mean having to give up the internet they love so much as well as their precocious TikTok?
Yes, but again, nobody'd have more money than them. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Shit, you're making like $400 a day? That's like brutal, right? No. And so it's one of those where I was like, you know what? I always put it as an option. And then I ended up signing a pro wrestling contract in Japan. I wrestled for, it's called...
was it New Japan?
No, not New Japan. It was Hashimoto.
Oh, okay.
Hashimoto's organization. It's called like One or... Gosh damn it, I can't remember it. I could probably look it up.
I always wanted to do that though.
Oh my God, it's so fun. It's so fun. And in Japan, it's completely different. I mean, it's like, I think the terminology is like, it's called laying it in hard. So basically it's like, they want it to look just like fighting.
Yeah.
Just like
Even
fighting.
with punches.
Everything.
Wow.
And it's up to you to protect yourself, and you work out high spots. So you work out like a beginning, you work out a little bit of a middle, and then you work out an ending.
I did that last year for Josh Barnett. You know, he got his,
oh my God, yeah. Josh is a good dude, man. Yeah.
Man, I did that. I wrestled. I'm bad with Japanese names, but I wrestled this big Japanese guy. He had giantism, but he was short.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't tall.
Yeah.
Same, what is it?
Characteristics, I guess.
Is it a disease or deformity?
I think
Acromegaly?
It's a disease.
That's what he told me. He had his translator tell me that because I was wondering because his head was so big. His head was really. He had a thick skull. He had thick hands and stuff.
Oh my God.
But he was a little bit shorter than me.
Yeah.
And so we did the match, and he wanted me to powerbomb him. And the guy was a heavyweight. You know, I'm pretty strong.
Yeah.
But I could not powerbomb this guy. He was so dense. And he really wanted me to powerbomb. I said, bro, he wanted me doing a triangle choke. I've done it against a 300-pound guy before when I was younger, though.
Yeah.
But this guy wanted me to do it. I'm like, no, I can't do that. So I ended up having to slam him in a different way. But he gave me a leg kick.
Yeah.
And it messed up my leg for like 6 months.
Oh, my
God. The pain
God.
just went away a couple months ago. This guy. And
Here we go.
Did you do it in Japan?
Quick, right here,
Japan.
Mark. This is Quentin in Japan. He did phenomenal.
Damn, they looked this shit up.
Yeah, we were watching.
I picked him up and slammed him. I couldn't powerbomb him.
Bro, what do you mean? You literally tossed this guy.
Yeah, but he wanted me to pick him up from the ground.
How hard were you hitting him right there?
I was stomping him. I was hitting him.
Oh my God, you're really soccer punting him, pride stomping him. Mark was showing me that this morning.
Awesome. See, I told you.
Is that the technique, Mark?
Hey, but Mark, he asked for that. I said, okay.
That is incredible. Rampage, you actually did a phenomenal job wrestling.
Oh my God.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to pro wrestle in Japan. I love that shit.
Over there, it's literally even.
No, this is Crush Zero Sugar. Orange flavor. It's pretty good. I like it.
But if Soccer went back to the Stone Age, they would not have any money whatsoever. They would instead be living in caves and have to hunt wild animals for survival.
Yeah, I don't know if they really think that far ahead. But thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Even back when I signed with Hashimoto, if you were with another wrestler that was supposedly your enemy, or opponent, you weren't allowed to be seen with him. You weren't allowed any of that. I mean, they keep it totally, absolutely like it's real.
Yeah, they believe it.
Oh my God.
They believe 100%.
All the way across.
In my second fight in Japan, I went there to fight Sakuraba. Then they brought me back maybe a couple of months later, after I first trained with Tito. So they thought I was going to be the same fighter. I went straight to Big Bear after that Sakuraba fight. Anyway, they didn't bring me back in Pride. They brought me back in one of those shows. And my fight was the...
Youngie donated $3.
yesterday you said that you endorse Israel proactively defending itself by hitting Iran's nuclear sites, which is something that President Joe Biden does not endorse. Do you not feel like this could lead to a likelihood of an all-out conventional war between Iran and Israel? And do you not agree with Joe Biden and his assessment?
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people to develop nuclear weapons is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
Yeah, that's why I voted for him. It's pretty based. Unfortunately, everyone got cucked. Thanks for the donation, though, dude. Yeah, I know The Rock is playing that guy in the movie.
Only real fight on the card.
Oh my God.
So they tricked the whole fans. Everybody doing pro wrestling, which looks like MMA.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they threw my fight in there.
Oh my God.
And
I
I
didn't
fucked
know
the
that.
guy, and I fought a pro wrestler. You might know him, Alexander Otsuka.
Oh my God, I know him. Yeah. Oh my God.
I fucked him up.
Oh my God.
He tried to do the double armbar on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
picked him up
Yeah.
like that.
Oh my God, man.
I think I broke his nose.
I gotta go watch that.
Yeah,
I gotta watch that. Yeah.
I fucked him. That's my second fight in Japan, but like the fans, they didn't see it because it wasn't in Pride.
I mean, Pride was wild though. You had soccer kicks and stomps and the Yakuza rumors. What's the craziest thing you saw backstage at Pride?
Oh my.
Off the record, you know?
So you know, a lot of that was kind of kept away. It really was. Like you had, and this is straight up, like you had a room, like you would walk through the corridors behind, you know, like in say the Tokyo Dome, and you had one room that was a bunch of Japanese guys smoking, and you'd walk past it, there'd be a guy standing at the door, and it would be because they didn't go in front of the cameras, they didn't go out in the crowd, they were there at the venue. You knew they were there at the venue, right? As many times as I've been to Japan, all the photographers there, nobody ever took a picture with me and Mr. Ishizaka.
Was he the first president?
And then they would just complain about all those wild animals trying to kill them and why they must live dirt brook in caves.
Yeah, they kind of just like to complain. That definitely would happen. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
So yes, when it was KRS.
Okay.
So KRS was Pride 1 through 4, and then it switched to Dream Stage, right?
Okay, yeah, I came from Dream Stage.
So the crazy part is the guy that I was associated with was a Korean dude. He signed everything Kim Duk-soo. And but everybody in Japan called him Mr. Ishizaka, right? Mr. Ishii.
No, I don't do sumo deadlifts. They're just fucking stupid. I'm not exactly sure what my body fat percentage is right now. I think I definitely look leaner now than I did the week before. I weighed myself this morning. I was 199.8. So right at 200 pounds. I think I'm pretty damn close to around 10%. Right around that neighborhood. But especially over the last couple weeks, I've noticed my legs have been leaning out more. And a bit off my stomach, too. My stomach is definitely a bit more defined.
Own K1. Mm-hmm. So it was Mr. Ishii and Mr. Ishizaka. We would go out. He would request that I would get there a couple days early because he would take me out. He would take me out to strip clubs and he would take me out and to dinner. It was always like one of those things where it's like, you have to go to dinner. I don't know if you remember, they had a K1 boxing event in Vegas at Caesar's Palace. I don't know if you remember this, and I don't remember the time frame, but they were trying to bring Pride over to the States, and they're trying to bring K1 over to the States.
Is that when Bob Sapp called out Mike Tyson?
Yes.
I was there.
Okay. So in Vegas, they invited me up, and I had a handler that made sure that I did not get near Mr. Ishizaka. that there's no pictures, no nothing. I was staying in a suite that was given to me by him. I didn't know everything was comped until the last day I was there. I could have come fucking anything.
You could have had a party.
I could have had all kinds of shit. Another bottle of Dawn. Right? Like, didn't know it until we get a board that comes up, and it's like, my gal at the time, she wanted like a bathrobe or something. And it was like, oh, okay. And I have them come up and they go, here you go. I'm like, what do I owe you? No, everything for the room's comped. And I'm like, everything? Like, yeah, room service, whatever you order the room. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I've been there 3 days.
I would have been balling out.
Oh my God, Paige. It was like, because the guy gambled so much fucking money that everything was comped. I mean, my first day there, I watched him in like probably like 5 or 6 hands of Baccarat lose like $750,000.
No way.
Oh, fuck.
He was balling like that?
Oh, yeah.
But he was the owner of Pride?
He was the guy behind the guy.
Holy fuck, dude. I wish I had that kind of money.
Behind the guy.
Okay.
So I would go like this. I go, well, what kind of, I would go like, okay, Mr. Ishii, Shaka, you know, what kind of business do you own? Well, the kind of businesses you want to own. What kind of business are those? The kind that are profitable. What kind of business you want to own that are profitable? The kind he owns. And then it was just this never-ending circle of questions that would never get answered, man. Seriously, like, you could straight up ask the interpreter, going, what does he do? He's a businessman. What kind of businessman? A really good one. You know, and it just never ends. You know, I mean, they would never, ever just point it out.
What's up with the photos though? Why no photos with him?
Just because it just was kind of like one of those like unwritten rules at the time. Where
Yeah, I still think Trump is Kreznov.
it's like everybody knew who these guys were in public. Like when we would go down to Roppongi, right? And we'd go out in big areas like Times Square, right? And shit like that. Like we'd walk out of the car. He never drove his own car. He always had a driver. He never poured his own beer. He never poured his own water. You know, it's like one of those things where you just like, he just had like a group of people around him and he was kind of insulated, but there's cameras everywhere and not a single picture to my knowledge exists of us two.
That's crazy. And he took care of you though.
Oh yeah.
And what did you guys all do in Roppongi? Rampage, were you ever part of those nights?
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I came way after that.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where that whole market was, you know, like people don't understand, like at the time the UFC was just, it basically was almost extinct. I think at the time when I went over there, there was like 3 states. The 2 UFC events I did was in Alabama and Mississippi, right? And in Japan, Pride was doing their second event, and it was like one of those things where it's like, you're going to pay me how much to fight Royce Gracie? I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'm in. I'm in, you know?
You fought in Pride 2?
So Pride 2.
Wow.
Pride 2. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't come around to like Pride 20 or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So I did the first, like, I did Pride 2, Pride 3, Pride 4, right? Pride 4 was back in the Tokyo Dome. Pride 1 was when they had Takada fight Hicks and Gracie, right? And that was a work, right? I mean, that's like, okay, you know, but again, Japanese fans, they want to believe what they want to believe.
Right. I bet there was a lot more works in Pride than what we know.
Oh, I know there was.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those like unwritten rules. Like if it was a work, you're never going to fucking mention it ever.
Yeah.
It was like these, it was crazy because, you know, like over there in Japan, you didn't know you fucked up until they went, oh, you fucked up. Yeah. Right. Like it was these unwritten rules that existed that they're called implied rules, right? They're like, you're supposed to know that gravity, if you jump off a 50-story building, it's going to kill you. You didn't know that? Like, what the fuck?
I think that's why I fucked up with Pride because, you know, I was really young and I came straight out of Memphis, coming there and they started treating me like shit. And I'm thinking like, and it was a certain couple of things that they didn't like me doing. Like they didn't want me taking girls to my hotel room.
Okay.
And my handlers, whoever's over there, was like, "Oh, you're not Japanese. You can't take girls to your room." I was like, "Why the fuck not?" You know. And I pushed back and stuff like that. And then after that, like they didn't like me. They made everything hard for me.
And you know what? That's like one of the things where it was difficult at the beginning because you didn't understand what the rules were. They weren't like clearly spayed out. It looked like, hey, listen, you're a brother, man. You can't bring those Japanese chicks back there. It's just, you know, shit, man. We're still like, what the fuck?
That's basically what they were saying.
I know. Yeah.
But I was like, I'm about to long dick me some Japanese bitches. You ain't gonna fucking stop me.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
I want to know who your crew was in Roppongi. Who did you go out with?
You know what? This is straight up. The people I went out with was Miss.
I like Japanese girls. They're cute, and looks like a lot of them are pretty freaky.
Your Ishii's crew, because it literally was. It was just easy because he would come to the hotel. There we go. Mr. Ishii's here. Go out. Driver, take me. I mean, it was like you had in Roppongi, the strip clubs were all Eastern European girls, all blonde hair, blue eyed, what they don't have in Japan, right?
That's why I didn't like those strip clubs. I didn't like the
No.
I went one time like, oh, what the fuck am I doing here? I can see you back home.
Like, this is Orange County. Yeah, I'm good. But what about, there's some crazy stories though, with Mark Coleman and Boss Rutan and Kevin Randleman, your boys, your squad, right?
No. Don't try to get too personal.
No, I don't want personal, but I've heard some crazy stories of like, you guys all teaming up together, like the Avengers of America.
So I'll tell you just a simple, this is about with my brother. Like my first time over to Japan, I get my older brother, who's 12 years older than me, right? My other brother, my sister-in-law, and I say, hey, come over and watch my first fight, Pride 2, right? Instead of fighting Hoist Gracie, Hoist got hurt, so Pride 2, I ended up fighting this Croatian guy named Branko Sikate. And so I'm trying to explain to my brother that, hey, listen, when Boss goes out and he drinks a little bit, don't fuck around with him. Just not a good idea. So I'm just narrowing, as you're over there, like, you narrow down, like each day it's just less and less and less and less that you're doing, and you're just focused on what's in front of you, right? And so they go out like I think 2 nights before the fight, and I told my brother, I said, listen, because he'll horseplay with me, right? And I go, just don't do it, because he's just off by a little bit. So in the morning, they had this buffet for breakfast, and I'm sitting at the table and I look up and I see my brother walking in, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking at him, and he's got this scratch from here all the way across down his face. Boss is pancreation, so it's open palm, and he goes to punch my brother and pull back, but he's off by that much and just scratches him all the way across his fucking face. And it's just one of those things where I was like, I fucking told you he's just off by that much. Sober, he can stand in front of you and he can punch all day, and you can feel the wind. Right. He's just really accurate with his punches, but
when you're drinking.
Yeah.
You went out drinking with Boss before.
Oh my God, man.
Some of the best times I had in my life.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like I've gone out with him where in Roppongi, like after a fight, I'd stay usually a day after, and we've gone out where he's fallen asleep on the bar. Like looking at you going, I'm gonna sleep for like 15 minutes and then just wake me up. And you're like, okay. And then he puts his head down, 15 minutes goes by, you go. And you go, okay, let's go. It's like fucking, you're kidding me. He doesn't drink that much anymore, but my first flight's over, they stopped serving him. So I'm in business class and he's back in coaching. They used to have smoking. They used to have 2 rows of smoking on the airplanes because it's such a long flight. And Boss is sitting on one of the chairs, one of the arms of the chairs in the back, and he's smoking a cigarette. And the stewardess comes by, she's like, you have to have a smoking seat. And he goes, I'm seated and I'm smoking.
Sounds like Boss.
And so then he comes up and he's like, I remember this, he comes up and he goes, I need 2 beers.
The fuck? Like, they're fighters and they smoke and drink. How in the hell did they ever, win professionally when they're smoking?
And you're like in my head, I'm thinking, you can't get him back. And so I get 2 beers, and the stewardess comes up afterwards. She goes, he's not allowed anymore. He's not allowed anymore. We can't. No. But no, that's back in the day. So I got stories about me, but
can you imagine that squad back then?
Man, I wish I was around.
Because it was you had Mark Coleman, you have Kevin Randleman, you have Mark Kerr, Boss Rutan. But when you guys would get to Japan, would you guys all be cool with each other at the hotels?
Yeah. I mean, there was cordialness to it.
Yeah.
You know what the crazy part is? So this is like always with the Brazilians, they were separate, right? They're like, you had the American guys and even some of the European, Netherlands guys, all this other stuff. Everyone was kind of cordial. Always seemed like the Brazilian guys were just so. I don't even know what to call it.
Are they just to themselves?
To themselves.
They're very patriotic when it comes to fighting and stuff like that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like this is one of these conversations where this is, God, man, probably about 7 years ago or so, I ran into, I was in California for an autograph signing, and the guy that has been with Hoist for a long time training his hands, a guy named Alex. DeCurso, I think his name is, last name. And Alex comes, says hi to me and stuff. He says, hey, listen, Hoist wants you to give him a call, right? And my whole impression of him is like, why? They walk around, they don't talk to anybody in the hotel. I mean, I get on the phone with Hoist, I swear, after I'm done talking to him, I'm almost in tears. Just one of the just salt of the earth dudes. Yeah. Like incredible human being. Like he just blew me away. Yeah. I could not believe, like we talk on the phone like we're talking, right? Yeah. Just like one of these things where I was like,
Hoist, Henzo, all of them.
All of them, man.
They're cool as hell, but they always have been standoffish.
At an event, especially when they're competing, there's no interaction, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy to me, like, You stuck up motherfuckers, man. That's like what I'm thinking.
No,
but that's they're allowed to do that.
Could it have been because your name was
Still up for that call for $50? Sure. It would just have to be on Discord, not like through phone.
the smashing machine?
Yeah,
like, fuck that guy.
Exactly right.
How did you get that name? How did that
Oh
come
my
about?
God, man! So my first fight, my first fight's in Brazil, when I fought Paul Varelans, Master Hawk, and then Fabio Gurgel against Fabio. I couldn't wrap my head around this when it was happening. He wouldn't quit. The place where we fought, this little hotel called Maxu Plaza, we fought in the basement of a hotel, and it was like 600 dudes that were all like Fabio students and Brazilian fight fans, and there was no way he was giving up.
Right.
I broke his orbital, straight up broke his orbital with headbutts. Right? Headbutts. His eye was swelled up like this. There was supposed to be no time limit. You're supposed to just fight until somebody gave up. I tried everything. And so I think the name of the magazine was called Autonomy. It was a Brazilian fight magazine in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And on the cover of it, it says, Makina Debater, the machine that smashes. And it's a picture of me just mauling Fabio.
And I think if I'm right, I think that fight got really popular around MMA, right?
It did.
Because I think I saw footage of that one.
It's one of those where a guy named Federico Lependa.
Federico Lependa.
So he's the one that goes, the fights are the fights. What the value is that tape of the fights. Because back then, that's how you got all your content. Video stores, online magazines. So you'd see like in Kung Fu, back in Kung Fu, order your tapes, and
he was a smart guy, that guy.
Oh God, man, he understood the value of having the event.
There's my Discord.
Event was the content of it.
He put me in my first movie.
He did.
Yeah, Federico Lependa.
Shit, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I know when you said that name.
That's
how I know.
crazy.
Yeah. I thought I got injured. I fought Shogun. I was injured for a while, so I couldn't train. I couldn't do anything. He was like, called me up like, "Hey, you want to do a movie?" I'm like, "Okay, why not?" Yeah.
Oh, that's solid.
Yeah, and tell me about this Smash Machine movie. Tell me how did you get that?
Man.
That's crazy. You have a movie about your life story.
Oh my God. You know what I
Dodo Donate Tellers, can you send out a round of emails to pacifists and get a debate set up? Because we have all heard you debate pro-Palestine retards, but we have not heard a VG debate against a pacifist arguing that we shouldn't attack Iran or that the U.S. is being subservient to Israel. No, I don't think I'm gonna bother with that. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
call it Rampage. I call it a pocket of time, right? Because it's around the Grand Prix, which people that follow the sport understand that was a once in a lifetime thing.
Okay.
Right? Because it was Coleman, me,
Cooking vlogs? Well, I don't really ever cook any food. Like, I just fry tofu on a pan, and that's it. I'm not really a recipe person.
It was Sakuraba, Hoist Gracie, right? Igor Volchanchin, Gary Goodridge, right? Fujita, and then the Japanese guy that I can't pronounce. Osada, I'm really bad at it too. But that's a one-off that would never ever. You can do it. You can pull it off.
Did you ever fight Fujita?
I did. That's a guy I lost to. That's what
That
I
was
lost
his-
to.
that was his
my
first loss.
loss. My first.
He was the biggest Japanese guy I've ever seen at the time.
My God, man! If you watch the tape, I knee that motherfucker 4 times in the face, and I straight up, man. I mean, I knee like skip knee, like where you bring your knee all the way back and like maximum impact. He staggers, and then just keeps coming forward.
I think I remember that fight.
Oh my God! I literally in my head, and I'll never forget this.
Dude, it was crazy. What's his name? Fujita.
Bill versus. I think that Kerr should do here is make it a stand-up fight. I would stick to stand up because, like I said, Fujita.
Yeah, Fujita was pretty big.
Not the striking ability that's needed to fight Kerr, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, you know, Boss told me earlier that he was holding the tie. Oh, Fujita comes right out with a right hand, and Boss goes with the low kick.
Boss, you mean Mark.
And
see how he changed his bite? That's wrestling there,
that
baby.
was beautiful. A double leg lift up. Ball thing.
So, what do you mean?
Trying to almost not.
People watch. The game is changing. Everybody's learning.
Now Fujita seems to be. Why is he? He's going to turn his back to Kurt. Not a good move because Kurt does have submissions.
Yes, he doesn't have experience yet. You know, that's the thing. There's no experience.
Intellect and ability to debate is being completely wasted by inability and all laziness to network and get on podcasts, debates and shows. I'm sorry VG, but this is true. It hurts me to see this.
Alright, well, sorry for disappointing you, Dodo. I'll try to change. Thanks for the donation, man.
At this point, Maurice, do you think
The knees he landed were really fucking brutal. I don't know how he stayed conscious.
He's going to win the fight unless he gets knocked out.
Oh, good right hand by Mark Kerr. Oh, knee to the head.
How the fuck did he stay conscious? There you go again.
Fujita's trying to do defense, but Kerr in control. Fujita with an uppercut. Fujita grabs the ropes, which is illegal.
Watch the knee. Ooh.
Dude.
Fujita get up on both knees, but Kerr can still throw the knee because Fujita did not have all fours on the ground. Kerr shooting for the single. Shooting for
but see, but Fujita knows wrestling, so that won't really happen really too much with him. That's his game as well.
Yeah, Fujita is a 3-time All-Japan wrestling champion.
See, it's not in his makeup yet.
He could throw an uppercut.
He could do a knee. Well, he could have.
Yeah, but at that time, because he was up on 3.
Yeah. Like I said, he has the
perspective win both
yeah,
champions. Either one. We almost got something to cancel each other out.
I feel
Fujita is throwing strikes.
He's trying.
He almost walked into a
kick. Yeah.
He almost ducked right into a knockout kick.
I feel that Coleman's the better striker right now between Kerr and Coleman. He's bleeding on the nose right now.
He only has 11 pounds, which is less than 10 kilos. Oh, Fujita shoots with single. Kerr sprawls and underhooks. Knees to the body.
Knee again. And then Mark Kerr ended up gassing, and then Fujita won. But yeah, it was crazy how he was able to survive that abuse.
Literally in my head, and I don't do this when I'm fighting. I go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, Bob Sapp in Pride was just fucking ridiculous. His fight with, what's his name, where he lost, that was crazy. He fucking pile-drived, why am I forgetting his name? You know who I mean.
Fuck. Like in my head, I can hear myself go, oh, fuck.
He had a thick skull.
Oh, my God, man.
Was there a controversy with that fight?
No, there's controversy with Volchanchin was the fight that he kneed me.
The illegal knee.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where that was all that stuff needed to happen. All that is centered around the movie, The Smashing Machine, is centered around that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 6 months prior to the Grand Prix and then right up to the Grand Prix. And it's just crazy to even think about it because that whole entire time, you know, like when this was going down, it's like, it was a really fucked up time in my life, you know, because I was, you know, fully addicted to opiates. You know, I was trying to mask all these little injuries, you know, going through training camp and all this shit and all the pressure. I was 11-0. So at the time I was, there's no official rankings, but I was considered the best mixed martial arts fighter in the world. Right. I had just won my second Abu Dhabi and then I won the all around. And so for me, it was like in that time frame. So I fight Instant Inoue in January 2000. I do Abu Dhabi in either late March or early April. So that's 8 bouts. And then the Grand Prix was May 1st.
Wow. Yeah, so you were thinking like, I got it.
This is it, man. Like literally, like thinking about it, like now I go, I could have just dropped the mic. If I would have won that Grand Prix, I could have just dropped the mic and walked off. And people would have went, oh, fuck, that's a bad motherfucker, right? And I didn't win the Grand Prix, and it was like, it was like such a letdown for me. But, I mean, the sport's full of all kinds of shit. Man.
Was those Grand Prix 3 fights in one night back then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's why I said it'd never, ever happen again. Yeah. So they did a qualifier, which was me fighting Ensign Inoue, and it was January. So all that narrowed the field down. And then they basically took all the grapplers and put them on one side, and Sakuraba, I don't even know how to classify. People that don't know, they don't know that was the man.
He was a pro wrestler,
oh
but he was a badass motherfucker. He beat me my first fight.
I'm just telling you, like straight up, like when the first time ever I saw him fight, I'm like, what the fuck? Like seriously, Paige.
Yeah.
Like
he was a great fighter.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. Just tenacious. The thing that he would do stuff that was so unorthodox that like you and I can never do.
No. Did you know he's a chain smoker?
No.
You didn't know that?
No.
Let me show you a picture. Well, like straight up. It's crazy. Somebody sent me this picture today. I did a movie with Sakuraba after I fought him.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned that he was a chain smoker.
How do they have any fucking cardio if they're fucking chain smokers? That's nuts.
He has to smoke every 5 minutes. Really bad.
You're kidding me.
No, bro. It's not like an ashtray. Sakuraba, he never got tired in a fight.
Ever. So before I ended up fighting Fujita, right? Mm-hmm. The fight before me was Sakuraba and Royce.
Oh, that was the
hour long, longest fight in the history of mixed martial arts. Yeah. And this is what's crazy. So going into the Grand Prix, Royce said, I'm not doing it unless there's 15-minute rounds. And everyone was like you're like, dude, like,
Haven't really considered moving to the States. There's too many benefits in Canada and not enough in the US. If Canada became like the UK, I'd probably get out and try to move to the US.
Ain't ever happening. And they ended up with the vice president of Dream Stage actually said, hey, listen, I need you to get all the wrestlers on board. I need you to get everybody on board with this because they needed Royce to round out the field. And so it's like I have an email that I found like last year of literally the conversation of like between, it was like not even an email, it was like a Word document that I find like, we should do this because but so Royce ends up fighting 1, 2, 3. I think they did 4 rounds. I think it was an hour.
Mm-hmm. It was over an hour, I think.
It's considered one of the longest.
Yeah.
So you imagine for me, at the end of the first 15-minute round, Sakuraba had Royce, I think, in a knee bar. And I'm like, okay, I'd like get warmed up, right? And ding, ding, bell goes. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. End of, I think the second or third round, end of the second or third round, Royce has got him hockey jersey. He's got the gi pulled over Royce's head, and he's just uppercutting him. Tag, I've never seen it done before. I'm like, fuck, that's brilliant. Like, why didn't I think of that, right? And so I thought that was it. Not it. They go another round. And by this time I'm like, I'm beat. like I already warmed up 4 times thinking it was, and when you warm up, you blow your lungs out, you get your lungs heated up, you get ready to go. And it's like, oh shit, fucking. And then finally Royce couldn't answer the bell for the one of the, his leg was swelled up.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was like straight up hats off, man.
See, I thought Royce knew that Sakuraba was a chain smoker. That's why he asked for that. That's what I always thought. So he thought he was probably going to gas out. Because I didn't know Sakuraba was a chain smoker until I did the movie with him.
Oh my God.
Never knew it until I did the movie with him.
So I've even trained at the Takata Dojo where Sakuraba trains out and a bunch of other guys. He must have hit it like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
like straight up.
Yeah, I didn't care when he did the movie.
And I'm just telling you, everybody back then in Japan, everybody smoked.
Yeah, I remember going to the McDonald's, the smoke, and you could see the smoke. You could see it, like you walk under it. You remember that?
Yeah, straight up.
That's horrendous. I'm so glad I grew up in a time where smoking inside of restaurants got banned. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, being to Canada's Wonderland. It's, it's okay. It's not as good as like Disney World or anything.
Like I told you, flying over in an airplane. Airplane had 2 smoking seats, 2 smoking rows.
I can't imagine smoking on an airplane.
It was at the back of the plane, and they had the whole row. So it's the 747. So it's that long row where there's like 5 seats or 6 or whatever it is, and then 3 on the wing, and then so 2 rows of it.
You don't remember the airplanes used to have ashtrays?
No.
You never flew on an airplane with an ashtray?
No.
Oh yeah.
They still had ashtrays for years even after they stopped the smoking.
No, I can't imagine that. I mean, you guys were both in Pride during the golden era of Pride and fighting. Did you guys ever cross paths backstage?
No. Cause I think did you retire or did you go to Japan by the time I came up?
So what screwed me? What we were talking about the implied rules is that like if an organization brings you over to Japan, they basically own you. You can't go like shopping around for other business. I didn't know this. So I said, hey, this is after the Grand Prix. I said to Pride, I was like, hey, I'm burnt out, man. I need a break, but I can't have a break where I'm not earning money. And they're like, okay, we'll get you up. What do you want to do? I'm like, I'm going to do some pro wrestling, right? And so they came back. I forget what the offer was exactly, but it was basically like, we can get you $5,000 a night and you guaranteed X amount of events in this time frame. And I'm like, well, that's not going to pay the bills. So I had somebody outside the organization, actually, who's a really famous, fought Muhammad Ali.
Inoki.
Inoki's son. I got with him. He was outside the organization.
His son?
His son. His son did bookings for pro wrestling.
Did he look like Inoki with a big chin?
A little bit. He did. He did.
I was just wondering about
So he ended up getting me a pro wrestling contract with Hashimoto, and he ended up getting me $25,000 a night, or $25,000 an event, 10 events guaranteed, and half the pay up front.
Jesus.
Back then,
good.
that was like
it was cash.
Cash. Cash.
Like green cash.
Like
brand new.
Like I cut my thumb on brand new dollar bill cash.
It was real.
Oh yeah.
And they just hand you cash.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Did you take the deal?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been hit, but not that many times. I mean, that's
crazy.
the deal. Yeah.
So what happened? You just stopped fighting?
So what happened with Pride got pissed.
Oh wow.
Because I wasn't in their circle. And so Pride did New Japan. Yeah. Like if you wanted to get into pro wrestling from Pride, you did New Japan. So Hashimoto was kind of this new startup and new money and stuff like that. And it was just, oh my God, it was like one of those things looking back on it going, oh fuck, that was a rule I broke, because they just went ghost. It didn't matter if Yokino, remember Yokino?
I hated her.
I called her Dragon Lady.
Oh yeah, I hate her.
What are we talking about right now?
Yukino and Hideki.
She was a booking agent for Pride.
Why do you hate her and why do you call her Dragon Lady?
Oh my God!
Let him tell her. Oh my God!
So she was just brutal. She was brutal. She was brutal.
In what way?
She had no.
I don't know if I'm imagining things and getting paranoid. I took some more edibles. Thought I just saw, like, police flashes, and I'm hearing, like, weird footsteps. Dodo Donatillers, although, let's face it, those very same SJWs would not last a day trying to survive in the now prehistoric alternate future they themselves created. Yeah, they'll just wipe themselves out. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Namaste VG. Kesahoop. Kuch din pe a tumbaho pareshan lagrai hate. Kawabop bihamasaskar rai hain.
I don't speak Spanish, but thanks for the donation, Raj. There's a window, like, in my basement that you can see, up.
Personality and just straight up, no, you can't go. Nope, we're not going to pay you that. I mean, just straight up, like, no emotions, no nothing. The reason why I hate her.
It's a THC CBD mix. Dodo donated $2. The fact is, Kamala would have struck Iran and done so sooner. There's a good chance Kamala would, yeah. Still a little skeptical if she would have given the necessary weapons to Israel in, a reasonable time frame. But she probably would have.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary? I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So based.
说真的，我作为一个中国人，我的认知我几乎无法同情以色列人，包括在现在打仗了，防空洞只能他们以色列人进去，其他国家的人不行。哇靠！我作为一个中国人，我的认知我真的无法同情他们和理解他们在现在的行为。
I'm assuming because China was getting oil from Iran, the Chinese aren't happy about it, so you know, you're seeing a lot of people upload pro CCP shit. Yeah, probably. Do you think New York will end up electing Ma'am Danny or Cuomo, and by a lot or no? Well, somebody told me, according to recent polling, it's like a 50-50. I don't know if things have changed. I really hope Cuomo wins, but who knows? I don't know if there's enough wacky, you know, far left-wing communists in New York. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Her husband, who had a different last name?
If I had to bet my life on it, I think I'd go with Cuomo, so let's just say my position is Cuomo being more likely. I don't know if it'll be by a large margin. There's probably enough older New Yorkers that they're going to vote Cuomo, and the lefty, you know, tards probably just won't even bother going out to vote. Because a lot of them are, like, younger. Stefania OnlyFans collab when? I'm really not sure.
Was a reporter. So Yokino's husband was a reporter for a magazine, and he had so because of her position, it allowed him access to me, and so we had this interview, right? And the interpreter, when I went over to Japan, when the article was published, she goes, "You need to see this," and I'm like, "Okay." And so she interpreted the whole article for me, and it said right at the beginning, it said, Mark Kerr was rather winded when we first sat down and bloated. It looked like he was on anabolic steroids and other things. And then the whole article just fucking slammed me. Oh. And the interpreter, who I started paying for, because if the interpreter comes from a Japanese, they ain't saying the right shit.
Exactly.
You know? And so she interpreted the whole article, and she said, "I just wanted you to be aware that this is out there, and that this is Yokino's husband who wrote this." Oh, and you know what he ended up having to do? Apologize to me, retract the article, retract the statements in the article that they're like sheer conjecture. He's not a medical doctor. He didn't run this, all this other stuff, which is just, it's like in Japanese culture, that's like shame. It's like shaming you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think that anybody should do that, especially to a legend.
Yeah, but those people, they was just like for me, they was like the hunter for UFC. You know, they was like the
matchmaker.
Yeah, they're the people who I communicated with instead of the president.
Yeah.
It's like a matchmaker and like a liaison to all the fighters to the organization.
And they treated me like shit, bro.
You do?
Yeah, like
you're a legend,
bro. When I first got there, when I first got there, you know, you know, and I had to work my way up. But by this time, you know, I had become like more or less a superstar in Japan, and I land in Japan. And I see Heath Herring get picked up in like SUVs and stuff, and all these people go. And then I'm got my ticket waiting for the limousine bus.
Oh my God, man! Yeah,
the bus. I'm like, and you know how you know how hard it is to get on that damn bus and do all your luggage and all this
man,
shit.
It's brutal.
I mean, brutal.
It's
And
brutal.
the lady, like, I tried to set up some business with them in America and stuff, and she takes the meeting, and that was the same lady that told me I couldn't fuck the Japanese girls in the hotel. She was the same one, and I didn't know you knew her. And then look, I set up a meeting with this bitch and with like a movie guy.
Yeah,
and because the UFC had just started doing Ultimate Fighter, and they was like saying we need to compete with the UFC. I said, well, do a movie.
Yeah,
Fuck a reality
yeah,
show, do a movie.
yeah.
So I set a meeting up, and in the middle of the meeting, she looked at me and she said, like, how could you get this guy right here? You are nobody.
Oh,
and right in front of the guy to my face, look this far away, at a table like this. She said, "You are a nobody."
Oh, I don't like the dragon lady.
I was like,
no, we don't like the dragon lady.
I was like, oh, okay. Oh, really? I had one more fight left on my contract. I said, oh, all right. I'm a nobody. I was like, oh, okay. And then that's when I left Pride and I went to WFA when I fought the smelly dude, Matt Lennon. Yeah. She ruined. She did everything. Everything to fuck with
I didn't know this.
She was proved to be wrong because you ended up being one of the most influential MMA fighters of all
time. For some strange reason, I always wanted to fuck her though.
Oh my god, you're a toxic person.
I can't explain.
No. This is why we have problems. You're a toxic person.
He wanted to hate fuck her.
Oh my god, you guys are both toxic. Listen, I got a special surprise right now. One of the best ADC matches in the history is Leo Vieira versus Mark Kerr. So we brought in Leo.
Actually, I had a similar feeling with a girl once. I really didn't like her at all, but I just wanted to look her straight in the eyes, just mouth to mouth, stick my dick in her, but I just hated her so much. I don't know why, it's weird.
Leo Vieira. How's it going? Wow, uniting. Pull up the Leo Vieira versus Mark Kerr match. This is one of the best ADCC matches.
Oh my god.
What an amazing moment we have right now.
I can't believe you're right next door.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
It's a
small world, right?
How long has it been since you guys seen each other?
No, 4 years ago in Vegas.
The Vegas? Yeah. We met in Vegas last time.
Yeah.
So in 2000, Leo Vieira versus Mark Kerr at ADCC for the absolute division, right?
Yep.
And Mark Kerr just looking just like a pile of bricks, probably 6'5", 400. And Leo Vieira, 120, 5'5". You
guys look like kids.
I was like his kid. Like
I couldn't catch him.
He was fast.
Like if you watch it from the beginning,
you feel like stuck. You cannot move. Yeah,
and it's frustrating because it's just one of those where it's like a lot of it is just that. Ability to be able to control people in a way that, like with Gilas, it's like what I was doing in wrestling. It's like I can control you, not with the gi on.
Yeah, no, he's like but the same thing with Phil. Like that was the first time that I fought with no gi, like specifically because back in the time they're not really popular. ADCC changed the whole thing.
Oh, it did.
Completely. And honestly, that fight, our fight, that changed my life.
Wow.
For everything. For opportunity, mentally.
Yeah.
Because until that, I was successful in jiu-jitsu. Was my 2 or 3 years as a black belt. But even as a young black belt, I was carrying a lot of, I was feeling that I was not good enough in this sport. Even like the sport was not that deep.
Yeah.
So that show changed. That fight changed because I started getting even more confidence because months before you fought against Fabio Gurgel. And I was there. I saw it. I said, "Oh my god!" And then
so that's what's incredible about it because what I was saying earlier, it was my first time fighting where there wasn't that weight class with grappling, right? Okay. So normally, like when you're grappling and doing stuff like that, there's weight classes, right?
Yes.
And it was my first time like in an open.
Yeah.
And I was like, so after we get done competing, it was like, holy shit! Like you have the fucking balls to jump into this and do this, right? Like I had hats off to you, right? Because I'm going, you didn't back down.
React to one of the greatest ADCC matches of all time.
There are nearly 1 million restaurants in America, and let's be real, going out to eat is a one-way ticket to grease, regret, and food coma. The hidden...
He's got to visit just one vegan restaurant. Like, if you're eating out at a health food place, there's got to be a vegan restaurant in here.
Among the calorie bombs are a few spots that promise pure gains, peak health, and maybe even immortality. I'm just kidding about that one. I have located this first restaurant. True Food Kitchen, and I'm excited. I'm also hungry. So a little bit about this restaurant. They celebrate whole foods, real ingredients, and put a healthy twist on all of our favorites. Eat fearlessly, they say. Reviews seem to be pretty lit. Staff are apparently amazing. And fun little fact, Oprah is actually an investor, which is pretty neat. So we're gonna go inside right now and see if the food is the truth.
I've taken 20 milligrams tonight.
Or one big fat lie. For all these restaurants, I'm gonna be judging them based on 3 criteria. 1, taste. Does it actually taste good, or does it scream, I'm on a diet? 2, creativity. If it's just grilled chicken and biology in here. True crisped buffalo tenders. We got the true crisped air-fried chicken breast for chicken parmesan. Air-fried in the kitchen. You don't see that every day. Also, AG1 True Food collab. What? A cheese on here, which I'm surprised about. It's a nice little food.
So this is normal restaurant food, just organic. That's really the only difference. And I guess some of the stuff they air fry. He gets paid for this, right? I'm questioning if this is like a sponsorship. It could be one of two things. He's a jackass. And rather than actually looking up restaurants that have health food, he's just picking the most popular restaurants, you know, that have that label, so that he gets, you know, funneled through the algorithm, because dumbasses who are looking up this restaurant or something, or reviews, they'll see Will's video. Or he's like literally paid to go to some of these places, and he's not mentioning it.
Shield? Are they trying to hide something? Anyways, give me cheese and I say thanks from my knees. Will it have the crunch without the guilt? Air fried is as much fried as Zumba is bodybuilding.
Big fan. Wanted to ask, what are you going to do when you inevitably lose control of Grand Crash Out, end up in prison, only have access to meat, no grass, or whatever? I don't know. What are you going to do again when you get addicted to crystal meth and your mom kicks you out and your third baby mama starts asking you for child support?
You can't tell me they're the same. Instantly, I can tell it's healthy. Instantly. When I think of chicken parmesans, I think of unbuttoning my jeans, food comas.
Yeah, sure.
This is... Yes. Just like any seasoned food critic would, I began to analyze my food with intense detail. If the average person doesn't know about health, they might think this is actually healthy. It's not. This is like gaslighting that's worthy of a Netflix docuseries. Saying all these things are healthy, that's like saying a hamburger is healthier than a bacon-wrapped hot dog. If you're old enough to go to a movie alone...
Okay. So Will's just a jackass. Okay.
You should know that this is not healthy. It's still a lot of calories, a lot of sugar, all those buzzwords. Don't let it fool you. Definitely the chocolate chip cookie looks to be compromised. 130 calories for this thing. Ooh. Kitchen, healthy restaurant turf wars. Restaurant number 2, Seasons 52, coincidentally in the same plaza as True Food Kitchen. Healthy restaurant turf wars, anyone? Crazy. A little bit about this restaurant. They say you can feel good about any choice you make at Seasons 52 because we've made some very good choices. My job. So, empty with exception of this dude, was maybe a bit telling. Instantly I'm noticing the menu is far less creative than True Food Kitchen. There's some fun stuff, but then there's also just a lot of like boring stuff, like the meat. 50 cents, and it was a very good looking dish. Very good looking. Very good looking. I was getting myself into. I think they really delivered. Oh, okay. I'm such a happy boy. It's like in a point where I'd rather just not have it. Your rabbit when it dies. little bit about this place. It says, we have Mendocino Farms, which kind of sounds like a place your parents would tell you your rabbit went when it dies. A little bit about this place. It says, make new culinary discoveries, enjoy fresh ingredients, come in, feel good about it, and be happy. Let's go.
The thing that caught my eye the most was the not-so-fried chicken sandwich.
Thanks so much. All right. I ordered half a sandwich and some soup. I never thought in a million years I'd ever see myself doing that. I'm a whole sandwich, man. Not fried at all. It's kind of like when a guy says, I think I love you, but what he really means is, I think I just want to sleep with you. It's pretty much just grilled chicken, and then we have these like crumbs on the top here.
You know, he kind of reminds me of the Green Goblin. Yeah, he looks a lot like Willem Dafoe in Green Goblin. Like, I'm not tripping, there's a resemblance. Yeah, he looks really similar.
There's like crumbs on the top here. It's a pretty tall sandwich. I'm determined to wrap my mouth.
Yeah, he is sort of like the more gay version of Mike Israetel. Like, if Mike Israetel never took steroids and was more family-friendly and never made dick jokes. Yeah, Mike Israetel probably would be some clout-chasing dipshit YouTube jackass who will make stupid videos that are fucking trash and promote nonsense for views.
Mouth around the entire thing. Here we go. Ooh. Honey mustard. So much mustard. I'm loving it. Next up, we have Cava. They bring heart, health, and humanity to food. Cava has pretty much exploded. They have overtaken Chipotle in per franchise value, and there's more
So he still hasn't gone to a vegan restaurant.
locations than Destiny and build my own bowl. Look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. I haven't had lamb in years.
What a fucking... Notice every restaurant he goes to, there's, like, red meat on the fucking... Healthiest restaurants, and then you eat chicken parmesan and fucking red meat.
I had a bad experience with it. It never called me back after a magical night. At home, in a...
Cava, so tasty. If only they had a dessert to match the entree, then this video would be literally finished right now. Time to make our way to our final stop.
Bibi Bop. They are all about well-being, serving healthy, affordable Asian food because they really care. Now, I really hope I like
I'm assuming they're not vegan.
it because founder Charlie Shin looks like the most jolly man ever, but that also means he can switch up pretty quick. Let's go inside.
I can tell before even eating the food that this place is underrated. So many unique options that you won't find anywhere else. I have a feeling the race for first is going to be tight.
I gotta say, I'm probably the most excited for this bowl than I have been all day. It looks divine. Got the pineapple, the kimchi, the Korean beef.
I'm gonna go to the healthiest restaurants and eat the worst food. Right. Get the red meat again. You know, the stuff that causes cancer and heart disease and diabetes.
The smell is just insane, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see.
Dude, Will is such a fucking cuck. Tried the world's most healthiest restaurants. Doesn't even go to a single fucking vegan restaurant. You know, fuck you, Will. Still haven't benched over 405 yet, dipshit. How's that fucking Turk working for you, jackass?
We usually see high performances in this field by explosive personalities. We see aggression, arrogance, anger, even neuroticism, and it seems to be a feature that's too often represented. Think of the highs of feeling strong and powerful in a workout and how they're mirrored by the lows that come immediately after. Think of the stress of continuously trying to channel passion and rage into a lift. Think of the wear and injury risk of throwing your body into a limit lift in a desperate attempt to get as good as you think you deserve to be. Think of the sleepless nights before big competitions, the insecurity as you pace around each event, the pressure to be able to channel the same rage on command, and the low that comes with the inevitable missteps and failures. Now imagine
Ronnie Coleman's back is renowned as one of the most massive and detailed in bodybuilding history. His unique combination of width, thickness, and deep muscle separation made his back stand out, even among other elite competitors. His famous rear lat spread and rear double biceps pose showcased his impressive V.
It has to be hard being that size, like just living on a daily basis. You need to probably have some kind of mental problem to be okay with being that huge. Seems like something that requires a video response. Yeah, maybe.
V taper and muscle density. Let's take a look at his back workout for Mr. Olympia 2003. To develop back width in detail, Ronnie began his workout with straight bar lat pull downs, performing 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps while
Gay. AI fucking videos.
Right now, there's an unimaginable war unfolding before our eyes. I'm not talking about Iran versus Israel, but rather the superintelligence talent war happening in Silicon Valley. You see, Meta just made something very clear. The only thing that really matters in tech right now is winning the AI race. And by that, I mean achieving one of the nebulous goals of developing AGI or ASI. Because the master of this beast will no longer need humans to seize the means of production, will be able to unlock new technologies, will be able to build super weapons to protect itself, and most importantly, make tons and tons of money. Zuck knows how important this is and just spent $14 billion on a 49% stake of Scale AI, which is a data annotation company that basically just curates and labels data used for training AI. And its 20-something founder Alexander Wang will take a top position in Meta, making the
Whoa. Bro, imagine having that much money when you're in your fucking early 20s. Fuck, this Asian kid must be like crazy fucking super genius.
this look like one of the most expensive acqui-hires of all time. But even that's not enough, and Meta is allegedly offering not just 7-figure, not just 8-figure, but 9-figure pay packages to poach top AI talent from other big tech firms. In today's video, we'll look at Meta's latest move on the chessboard and all the other ridiculous stuff happening in the AI race. It is...
Bro, these nerds are making so much money. Fucking insane.
June 19th, 2025, and you're watching The Code Report. If I offered you $100 million to leave your job, would you take it? For 99.99% of people, the answer is because stakes poaching right there. AI's key employees have already left. None of these people took up Zuck on his offer because they expect yes. But apparently, according to Sam Altman on his brother's podcast, that's exactly what Zuck has been offering OpenAI employees to jump ship over to Meta. Unbelievably though, after most of OpenAI's key employees have already left, none of these people took up Zuck on his offer because they expect to make even more cash when OpenAI can finally rug pull us with an IPO. That's some high stakes poaching right there, but it's nice to see programmers getting paid as much as guys who play with balls. I do have my doubts though, because I've been reading the OpenAI files, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was just a strategic lie. Like if I were a Meta engineer right now only making a pathetic $1 or $2 million a year, I'd be pretty bitter to hear that he's offering other engineers 100 times more, but as of right now, Zuck hasn't confirmed or denied making these offers. On the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if it were true, because they just paid $14 billion to acquire Scale AI and hire Alexander Wang. In 2012, when they acquired Instagram for $1 billion, it seemed insane, but this deal seems off the charts ridiculous. They only own a 49% stake, but it's already started to backfire because some of Scale AI's top clients like Google are no longer going to use the service. It's a talent war of epic proportions, but much of the technology developed will be used in real wars to blow people up. OpenAI just landed a $200 million Department of Defense contract for, quote, proactive cyber defense. Meanwhile, Palantir is apparently creating a mega database on Americans to make sure we're all on our best behavior. And what's really awesome is that when you get drafted to go die in the Middle East, you'll get to use Palantir's AI slop to fight the bad guys. Unless, of course, Sam Altman is correct with his recent blog post about the gentle singularity, which claims that the singularity is already here. It's just not as weird and crazy as we thought it would be. That sounds more like copium for an AI plateau, but there's no doubt that AI can make us more productive programmers with tools like CodeRabbit, the sponsor of today's video. Their free VS Code extension gives you line-by-line code text directly in the IDE.
Yeah, AI is already pretty annoying. Imagine when it, like, becomes really intelligent. It can just figure out how to annoy you even more and, like, truly understands on a deep molecular level how to annoy you to the absolute fullest extent.
Two communist nuclear neighbors. Both have iconic, infamous supreme leaders. Both have been making headlines recently. Both have special economic zones. Both have massive influence over the world. Well, maybe to different extents. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put my skyrocketing social credit score on the line by once and for all answering the question on everyone's minds right now: China or North Korea? Our first category up is beer. Yeah, I'm about to blow your mind, dude. This is Taedong-gang, North Korea's national lager. Yep. Kim Jong-un apparently developed such a taste for European beer during his time growing up in Switzerland.
How you feeling, Jeff? Oh, yeah. You drunk? Kind of, but not quite. Okay.
In the year 2000, he convinced his dad to cash in hand buy the brewery Ushers from Wiltshire, England. You know, where Glastonbury and Stonehenge is. Most kids beg their dads to buy them toys, magazines. Maybe you're even sneakily pleading to get a sip of your dad's beer at the Indian restaurant. I know I was. But no! This fat, drunk motherfucker Kim Jong-un asked and received an entire brewery. Everything from the tiles on the walls to the secret family recipe was handed over to North Korean delegates, who according to Usher's old head brewer were nice blokes. It was all shipped to Pyongyang, and since then the DPRK have replicated the formula, creating over 10 major breweries in the country and providing North Koreans with a steady stream of European-style golden nectar, Taedong-gang, which is described as having a fragrant, smooth, soft taste. Honestly, it sounds and looks fucking great. However, the real question is, can I betray Tsingtao? Can I betray YouTubers, by the way? Taste testing this heavenly beverage in Portugal, my favorite region of China.
Whoa.
That's fine.
Like music to my ears.
So, by the way,
we're gonna hear that a lot.
Look, the bottle looks look at that. Look at that epic bot. Yeah, the Chinese like.
Oh, it's not focusing.
I didn't know we knew NFKers.
Beautiful design.
You're the OG CCP show.
Literally.
I really like this.
Very chuggable, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
it's so much lighter than your
yeah.
lager. I'm not gonna lie, first beer of the night is always gonna be the best.
Yeah, the best.
Beer of the night.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But this is like, come on, man.
No, yeah.
This is S.
Yeah. I'd say this is a good A or S. Yeah.
I've always been Tsingtao pill.
Yeah. Nice.
By the way, that whole video is on Roman's channel, and I want to let you guys know that Andy Milanakis, the man who has a song with Chief Keef, commented on it agreeing with me. So if that is not an endorsement, I don't know what is. Sosa, put me in the mansion, bro, please. Look, man, the first thing I did when I landed in China earlier this year was drink a Tsingtao, and honestly, I want it to be the last thing I do in my life ever as well, because going out with a Tsingtao in my hand is truly the best possible way I can imagine transitioning. Any way I can get my hands on a Taedong-gang. I don't care how many bans North Korea uses to carry out. Never get a suspicious email from the owner. Watch out for that, guys. But to be fair, I might consider doing something like this if alternatively, if the DPRK can prove to me that they actually created embassies. Now, despite China's current plans to build a mega embassy in Europe's biggest city, London, their current embassy really isn't much to brag about. Basically, they've wanted to update it for ages. It's actually been in the same spot since the fucking Qing Empire in 1877, making its physical legacy about as old as Canada. So yeah, for a while they've wanted to give the UK hella money to build a gigantic new embassy near the Royal Mint. But obviously the leaders of the UK, as per usual, don't want to earn money. Yeah, for those who don't know, not earning any money at all has been our key political strategy for the last decade or so. Therefore, China haven't been allowed to update their embassy and are stuck with this bullshit. Whilst, for example, Australia gets this colossal fucking palace. Like, bro, what do they even do in that embassy, bro? Haggle over the price of beer and Lebanese food in Clapham or something? Alright, bro, just wait till I show you North Korea's London embassy, though. We're talking luxury, prime real estate, $1 billion.
I see the money.
Yeah, so like, obviously I know a lot of middle to lower class people that live in the UK. I know some students in London that live in kind of shitty accommodation. And you know, maybe you go over to their house to hang out, have a cuppa when you're in
I like Yorkshire Gold black tea. That is my favorite tea, in fact.
town. This is where they live, bruh. This is their house. This is their crib. Also, not only is this shit in West London, it's in fucking Acton. You know what's in Acton? Nothing apart from knife crime and fabric shops. The London North Korean embassy, depending on the time you leave, is closer to fucking Reading than Canary Wharf. And look, I gotta respect the underdog. I gotta respect someone trying to make it out the hood. Also, I don't know if any of you have seen this North Korean propaganda girl on social media.
Nice to see you again. I'm Song In from Pyongyang. I'm 11 years old and 5th year in the primary school.
Can you guess where I am right now? Everything is under control as it used to be, and everyone is just fine.
There goes the bell. I got it go. I come in spring to look at the flowers.
Then cheer up.
Pyongyang, where I live, is a very beautiful and magnificent city. Have you ever been to Pyongyang? Well, if you come here, you'll be totally surprised, because literally wherever you go, there are amusement parks.
But notice how she kind of has a
Who do they think they're fooling? Like, why? It has to be an Asian thing. I know a lot of Asians are all about, like, appearance and shit. Like, they're not... Like, this isn't propaganda for their people. It's like propaganda to convince people North Korea's great. Like, we know what North Korea's like. They know about North Korean documentaries, like, that are released here. So they're literally just doing it because they're Asian. So weird. Kid Boo donated $2. Yeah, man, I gotta say, I'm still not all that impressed by Bleach. Thanks for the donation, though, Kid Boo.
posh British accent. That's because she's the daughter of the Vice Foreign Minister of the DPRK and spent some of her childhood living inside of this building we've been talking about. So just for the sake of lore, and also just how funny it is that some guy probably called Darren has the North Korean embassy as his neighbor, they're gonna take the dub here. North Korea, 1 point up. And if I talk about embassies for any longer, I swear that they're gonna give me the Saudi treatment. So let's instead talk about Dennis Rodman cosign. Hey, North Korea 1, China 0. Sorry guys, another point up for North Korea. Yo, I got a quick 1945, England split into two, one half remaining socially.
I'm sorry. Kid Boo donated $2. This nigger is retarded. Yeah, I think he was just joking though. Yeah, I'm pretty high. Pretty high. I should just try to get some sleep now. I filmed a vlog today, so that should be out tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep. It's 1 in the morning here anyway. I ended up starting my day pretty late. That's why I ended up streaming later. So I'll just go to bed now so that my sleep schedule doesn't get fucked up, and then I can just reset for tomorrow. But the new vlog will be out tomorrow. And it should be on around the same time. Or not, well, earlier tomorrow. But big thanks to everybody who donated in Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Sweet dreams.